Remember this music?
And as the great Jack Buck said, we'll see you tomorrow night. The Brewers 5-3 win last night. Survival of the fittest for one more night at least. It's 9 to noon on the game. Fantastic victory montage on a thirsty Thursday. A lot of celebratory cheers on 9 to noon. I'm Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian by our side in the IR Megaplex Studios, and John Kuhn with you on the NigglyLaw.com talk and text line 414-799-1973. The number that is always open for you to discuss, react, just shed a lot of excitement. And also just, John, Armin, take a deep breath, John, and get a little bit of exultation out as the Brewers finally get a little bit of a monkey off their back. As Steve Young wants to look at that monkey off my back real quick.
I remember that.
You were staring in the eyes 4 outs away, 6 outs away before the Jackson Cheerios tie ball game with the homer to lead off the 8th inning from losing the 7th consecutive playoff game, 11 of their last 12. And oh my, what 40 minutes or so of real time and 6 outs can do. Because now all excitement is through the roof. Many people are Brew leaving as we've got the
Brew leaving.
huh? Dude, our Nooner Tim, Dan, the one that has the big clock. That's his sign. And the meat. He's got pause.
He's always posting meat and the big clock.
He's got the big meat, got the big clock.
Smoke pictures.
Yeah, well, everyone's smoking something celebratory last night because, man, it quickly changes from a lot of pure trepidation, sadness, into a lot of excitement and energy, no doubt about it. So as you sit there last night and you're watching that game unfold and we're texting back and forth, at what point did it all sink in for everybody that this could be the final game. And then instantly, as Pat Murphy called on the in-game interview, that they were going to find a way to go and win. They were going to find a way to come back. And sure as heck they did there in the bottom of the 8th inning.
It was one of those, you got to believe, you got the feeling that this team's different, and you really got to believe, because after we had that second inning, we're again covering first base with our pitchers.
Oh my gosh.
What the hell is going on?
That was,
right now?
I told Billy, that's should have got a live chicken. That's the only thing I could think of. Why we keep having trouble with this?
Because it started to feel like, and I kept my meter right down the middle, right? I kept that line. I didn't go into the bad zone. I didn't go into the negative zone.
Very baseball of you. I like that.
I had to stay right down the middle. And I did. Even when that ball was dropped at first base, because you know what? That should have been a 1-run inning. And it was hard. It was hard there when the Brewers scored their second run in the 5th inning. When they scored their second run in the 5th inning, and you said, well, probably should have gotten 2 there. It would have been nice had we not been thrown out at second base the way that we were thrown out at second base. However, we are where we are. It'd be nice if they didn't have that extra run. All those things sitting in the back of your mind until you get to the 8th inning. And who was it? Was it Trevor McGill that got a big strikeout? I think it was in the 5th, and started walking off the mound.
Those were all big.
And you could read his lips. Did you guys read his lips?
Wake the bleep up.
Wake the.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
When he said that, we still have a heartbeat. We still got a pulse. Ride this line. Stay right down the middle. And I'm not gonna lie. I usually watch these games in a very quiet living room, and I did last night. But when Jackson Chourio hit that second one, when he hit that second opposite field, I let a little something out.
Yeah, it was tough.
A little something out with the kids in bed and the wife sitting there on the other couch reading a book. I let a little something out. And then when Garrett Mitchell walked up to the plate, I said, all right, big moment for you, Garrett Mitchell. This is what you battled back for. This is what you came all the way back for this moment right here as a DH. Bang. I mean, what? You can't write a better script for that. With all the things flashing up on the television broadcast, the Brewers haven't won a playoff game since the 1982 World Series went down in the 7th inning. All the things that started culminating to what was a magical bottom of the 8th. And we're watching Devin Williams warm up in the bullpen in the bottom of the 8th. And I'm thinking, are we nuts? We can't do this until we get the lead. Pat Murphy knew. Pat Murphy, a great game last night. A beautifully executed plan, way to mess with the batter, Lindor.
That was awesome.
Intentionally walking him. No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to him. Put your gloves back on. Puts his gloves back on. What are we doing here? I'm walking
him. Come on, get going.
Base. It was perfect. It was a great game. And that's the Brewers that we anticipated in this thing. That's the Brewers that now have a win. And you're through in the wild card round. Are we all still pissed off the wild cards 3 games? Are we all still that?
Oh, was that the take yesterday? Was it just frustration?
Yeah,
it was too short.
You can't win a division and play in the wild card round. It's inequitable.
I still hate this playoff system.
There's 2 divisions that get a bye. Armin's over here. There's 2 divisions that get a bye, and the third one just gets cheated. They just get ripped. They have to play in the wild card round, best of 3.
Well,
what does that mean for baseball? Well, it's not best of 1.
Exactly. It definitely isn't best of 1. And for it, I can only imagine, guys, that there are many people that were going after Pat Murphy for the decision to pull Freddie Peralta, Armin, in game 1, maybe a little bit early. And obviously, it's easy to judge the results when they were what they were, when you go through 3 pitchers to try to get out of 1 inning after pulling Peralta and trying to get a lockdown, shutdown inning after you go and score. Finally, they were able to do that yesterday, and I thought that was one of the massive parts of it. Keep the game right there after you get it back within 1 run.
Huge.
To not allow it to, once again, go back to a 2-run, if not 3 or 4-run Met lead right there. It was massive for the energy. It was massive for the momentum. And John said it, executed plan. Brewers have a plan. Get the ball to the bullpen and let them cover the back half of the game, if not more. And it was executed yesterday and saves them there.
You said it. Executed is the word. We can hand wring all we want about decisions made, about the result of them. You know, I always believe in process over results. You like the process of the decision, even though the results may not be what you wanted. But the reality is, at this time of the year, and it's happening now, it all comes down to 1 game. It comes down to execution at this point. No matter where you're playing, no matter what decision is made by the manager, your job is to go in, make pitches, get outs, or go get hits and score runs. Your job is to go make plays, and it's about execution, and it's about who's going to come up big in these moments. Last night, thank goodness, we've got a star, we've got a transcending young phenom that saved us last night. I mean, calling all heroes in the 8th inning, he stepped up to give us his biggest, his biggest moment to that point of his baseball career. Jackson Chourio is incredible. He did it again for us.
Here's the best part about Jackson Chourio.
Incredible.
Watching this, these next 10 years are going to be something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's absolutely
It's going to be a fun time.
I mean, just everything validated from the late season surge after the All-Star break to this, his first playoff series. It is spectacular. He is everything that we wanted this prospect to be.
Yes.
I mean, when you have something come to fruition like this, that's special.
And he's coming through.
That gives you the weird feelings in the back of your neck, like, oh boy, this can happen.
His talent's amazing. His confidence is crazy. And the fact that he's coming through in the most important moments is just amazing. And that's the singular reason. You need guys like that to step up in those big moments. You needed Robin Yount to hit 2 homers off Jim Palmer in 1982 against the Orioles in Game 1
That's crazy.
to save the division. You just need that stuff to happen. Sometimes it just comes down to that. And sometimes you know the things that are going to happen to make those things happen. So thank goodness, 9 years ago, Venezuelan scout for the Brewers, Luis Perez, and Latin American prospector
great shout
out. Was watching an 11-year-old kid somewhere in Venezuela and said, "This is the one." Thank goodness, when he was 14 at the showcase, he had a bad day in front of all the other MLB scouts. All those things led to this moment. The Brewers had the foresight to trust this kid, to put the contract behind what they believed he could be, and he's coming through. And man, was that amazing last night or what?
It really made me remember another 20-year-old in the same round, in the wild card round, kind of putting the curse on the Milwaukee Brewers. It was a 20-year-old Juan Soto who got a base hit that ended up clearing the bases and making what was a 3-1 Brewers lead in the bottom of the 8th inning in Washington, a 4-3 Nats win 5 minutes later after the Brewers go down basically in order. I think they got maybe one guy on for Ben Gamel, who then flies out, and they ride that momentum into the World Series, and Soto was one of the biggest parts of it. And if it wasn't for Strasburg wins the World Series MVP, Tim Allen said it last night, Chourio's got the World Series MVP written all over him, if indeed that's where this thing could take you. Now, granted, they won one playoff game. Okay, they won their first playoff game since 2021. So absolutely putting the cart far ahead of the horse here, talking about that. But they won here tonight, which I'm going to Potawatomi Sportsbook a little bit earlier, especially 11 o'clock. We do a can't miss. This feels like a potential opportunity for a Brewers runaway here tonight. This would have all the alignments of you finished that job last night. Now this gets to a coronation, get into the divisional round here with a win here tonight. But if indeed that goes down, that's one of those moments that you're going to hang in the lore for a long, long time of that 8th inning. And maybe the start to, you bring up Robin Yount, John, that was one of, if not the greatest moments of maybe the greatest Brewers of all time's career with those 2 home runs in the final game of the season. Yeah,
and when you really think about what this series has been so far, what the Mets and Brewers have been all year long, you understand that the Brewers have had the Mets number for the majority of the season. The Mets were playing off of some straight piss and adrenaline coming off of Monday's doubleheader into Tuesday's game. And then yesterday might have finally been when their gas tank actually runs out. Their adrenaline actually stops pushing them and propelling them a little bit further. And the Brewers finally wake up and start feeling their own adrenaline. For the first time, I felt like it looked like in the stands at AmFam, a playoff series. For the first time.
Yeah, it felt
for the first time. It felt like they believed.
Right.
We believed. And Jackson Chourio made it so. Jack, the youngest man in baseball, made it so that everybody finally woke up at AmFam and pushed the Brewers and propelled the Brewers to something special. And Billy, I agree with you. If that energy, if that emotion can transfer from last night's top of the 9th inning into tonight's top of the first inning, it could definitely be a runaway, be a walkaway. I do caution, though. Every day is a different day in sports, and every day is a different day in baseball.
Good call.
That energy needs to be brought
Yeah.
because, and I don't doubt that Pat Murphy is talking to him right now, because my number one question is, after watching last night, a final game in a series, a winner-take-all type game, whether it's game 7, game 5, game 3, is always an all-hands-on deck.
Johnny Olsteff.
Who is going to go out there and pitch for the Brewers? Because these guys got to be wasted. The way they have been used in these first 2 games, I'm talking about the bullpen to the back end. These guys have been used. They started 5th inning, game 1.
Yeah.
Is when they started, and they have been used, and they have, for the most part, been dealing. We had that one rocky inning with Piamps. But let's be honest here. In that inning, there were 2 errors.
Yeah, self-inflicted ones. Yeah.
2 errors.
Yeah.
You know, aside from that, the bullpen has really been spectacular. They really have. The bullpen was spectacular again last night.
Yep.
In game 1, minus that 5th inning, they were spectacular. And now I'm looking at them. Do we have the energy? Do we have the reserves to pull it all up and finish this thing and all hands on deck? I mean, how many pitchers you think Murph's going to put on the mound tonight?
Well, he believes in that strategy.
7 or 8.
He's going to do it. He believes in the
Potentially
strategy.
7 or 8.
I'm getting in my bullpen at 5 to lead, and that's where we think our strength is, and that's where we're going to go. He said it. That's why he took out Freddie. You can like it or you don't like it, but that's the process he's using, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. And then Tobias has the ball tonight. I don't think there's no more.
Toby,
unless
he could just spin a gem.
he might. But
I think he's the only guy to go 8+ innings multiple times.
But they're not going to push him to the 3rd time around. I don't know. That's just not the MO in this team. They believe in their process, and we're going to hope it works. You're right. It's one game. Anything can happen. As great as last night was, you just don't know what moments can go your way or what breaks might not go your way.
What's more important tonight? That bullpen or the bats? There's something about the bats. When the bats this team
scoring
when the bats come alive, it's like it's contagious. It's like one guy, all of a sudden the next guy, and then it's just, okay, here we
quickly
go. Run. Sit on the table. Actually double down on the table because you're getting good hands right now. You just got dealt a blackjack. See if you get dealt another. I mean, it gets contagious. The bats have got to get hot and got to stay hot from the beginning.
Yeah, it's like John, I think it's just like in football. Absolutely, you need your defense to show up to win playoff games. But what energizes the crowd, what changes the game, what fully puts you into a tizzy and changes that one up? Touchdowns, right? Scoring points. And last night, their touchdowns, their homers were the difference maker. 13 singles, scoring 11 Met runs in the first 2 games. That is a massive anomaly in baseball. That's something that you can't count on happening. Generally, the game changers are the swings that the Brewers had in the 1st inning and in the 8th inning. The ones that leave the yard are the game changers in playoff baseball.
We sat here a year ago and said the same thing about the Diamondback series. The Brewers batted like 300 this series, but it was a bunch of singles. You need to have slugging percentage. You need to have power, and you need to have home runs.
The Mets have left a lot of guys on base.
That's a big thing, John.
The Mets have left a lot of guys on base. Yeah, they've left a lot of guys on base. But also, I mean, the Brewer, I don't anticipate. We're going to play a good defensive game one of these games.
Right? Yeah, it has to happen for a team that's one of the best, if not the best defensive team in baseball. Yep, you're right, John.
We can't do 3 games of bouncing the ball off our glove, not finding first base.
Right? Not catching balls.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that again. There's a lot that goes into tonight, and you just where's that meter? Where's that meter for you? Mine's right down the middle. It still is. It was after game 1. It still is after game 2. I'm watching this game the same way I've watched the first 2. But where is their meter? Where is the team's meter? Last night was special. That 8th inning, that Jackson Chourio home run, and then the Garrett Mitchell home run, and then the Devin Williams, what did he throw? 8 stinking pitches? That for the first time felt like AmFam and the team were like, okay, this is the playoffs that we are talking about.
That's very baseball, John. Like how he's rowdy with it. It's baseball. You got to be down the middle. You got to take every single one of these, and you got to be able to be even keeled. It's tough, dude. It's tough, dude. I hate doing it.
Baseball. There's too much time to think. There's too much time for me to think. Football, you can't think. It's just react. It's read, react. Baseball is too much time to think. I'm getting all caught up. I saw William Contreras turn to bunt last night, try to get Perkins to second base.
What are we doing?
I love that idea. We went hit. I was like, you know what? Hey, let's sacrifice him. Let's get Perkins on second base and tie this thing up. And then what do we get? We get out. I was like, wow. We turned to bunt, and Armin wanted to swing away.
No,
Yeah,
he was
I
not
did.
like that.
And I don't ever want to take the bat out of somebody's hand, but this is the playoffs and runs come differently.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's William Contreras. It's one of my best guys. I don't want to take the bat out of his hands. That's my opinion.
Then why square up to bunt on the first pitch and take a strike?
Got to mess with him a little bit.
Murph loves
Trying to
doing
mess
that.
with him a little bit.
Murph loves doing that. He's showing him butts.
Yeah, he's messing with me. I'm telling you. Time to think.
Come on, Murph.
Time to think.
There really is.
I thought if you're going to square up and take that first strike like that with then you just bunt. Then you just bunt and you get Perkins to second.
Well, and the too much time to think, you had me thinking, where are all these stolen bases? Right? Brewers had ran one time in 2
that
games.
throw, by the way, to get Perkins out.
Stupid good. Yeah.
That throw was like,
those are big
do
moments.
you realize why these guys are professional baseball when you see stuff like that?
Yeah.
That
That's
was
amazing.
exceptional.
Now, Quintana tonight, I have bad memories of Jose Quintana. The Brewers used to struggle with him, but I'm not running from my nightmares. This is not the same Jose
This
Quintana.
is
Not many more. There's not
This
many
is a
more
different
no
Brewers
Brewer
team.
killers than
Brewers
Jose Quintana.
Yeah, but this is a different Brewers team. This is not 2016 Jose Quintana that was always killing us.
2018,
Yeah, because we were swinging. You know what? Big, slow lefty. You talk about stolen bases. It's in theory harder to steal on a lefty, but it's slower balls, big curves. Maybe we'll try to do the running game tonight. We got to get him rattled early. We got to get Quintana
Get
rattled
after
early.
Quintana
We got to
get a lead early.
That's all I'm saying. I know this isn't 2017 or whatever. What was the year we struggled with him?
Most of his career.
Right
2018 is when 2017 is when he was traded from the White Sox to the Cubs when the Brewers thought that they were going to be able to get him. And then in 2018, ever since then, he's basically dominated the Brewers. Not tonight.
All right,
Changes up. NicoletLaw.com talking text line is open for you at 414-799-1973. Because Ryan and Mosquito said, Armin, can you play your montage opener again? I missed it and I need it injected into my veins. We got plenty of time for it. We might hear that montage again. We mentioned Trevor McGill. We're going to hear from him one-on-one with reporter Hunter Baumgart.
I like that.
Reporter Hunter after the game, getting in there with the one-on-ones, getting the exclusive audio. We're going to bring you some of that. We're going to talk to Matt LePay about some Milwaukee Brewers. Also, Badgers got to get a win. You want to talk about getting a win?
Get a win.
You got to get a win on Saturday. That's got to happen. Matt LePay stops by and
boiler down. Sorry, Laura. Boiler down.
Okay, good. I was just not only like hearing you say anything boiler.
No.
It sounded positive.
Boiler down.
Boiler down.
Yeah,
Boiler down.
Yeah.
We're down to be hanging out with you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Let us know what it was like in AmFam yesterday. And on the other side, let's get down with some Green Bay Packers conversation as well, because you got to know that we're getting ready for Packers and Rams as well. And we got to know how you're feeling about one number 10 through 2 of the 4 Packers games, the 2 L's. How's the $220 million man fared? And how does that meter have you feeling? Still right down the middle, like John Kuhn is about your Milwaukee Brewers, or your needle all the way down and into the red on either side? Excitement or trepidation? It's 9 to noon. 414-799-1973 is wide open for you. John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian. We're going up, celebrating some Milwaukee Brewers conversation right here on 9 to noon. Stay wide on the game. Good. Yeah, you had me all messed up on the Quintana trade. It was 2017. You had me all messed up on the year of the Quintana trade. It was 2017. 17, he came over, and I think he shut him down like 2 or 3 times after the trade.
Tim left his email signed in.
Get to go see Tom Potts in action today. Sales call. At some This is why you have to be watching 9 to noon on YouTube and X to be able to see the Armin Sari and Matt LaFleur. Come on! Come on! Firing this crowd up. I love that you have that kind of call back. I mean, that's fantastic.
You remember certain things, Giovanni go to the mound for warm up. You just start up.
Get the place rocking.
Giovanni right there.
414-799-1973, the number, and that's the 414 dialed in Brian. I was in section 407, row 9 last night. Surprised there were still some empty seats. My daughter and I were about the only ones standing and cheering for the first 8 innings.
Guys.
Brewers fans need to bring more energy to these games. Now, Brian's the first one that I've heard say that the energy was not at a 10. Is that not what we were hearing on Tuesday night?
So obviously,
I thought that first
Armin
inning that
hated
place
the
had
atmosphere on Tuesday.
I did.
He
I
hated-
was disappointed.
He hated it. He was told to sit down. He was not. There were not good vibes. Only there was a lot of pessimism.
But there was a Long Island hat, right?
No, he didn't do it.
I had the strawberry smash. Is that not
Dude,
good?
It's not the same.
It was a
Did
double.
you not have
I had a
one?
double.
It does. It's not the
Johnny,
same.
you had one instruction.
thing. Jack, third baseline,
Long
Island's
Island.
team.
I did everything right except
You're
for
a
the win.
Coons guy, right? Yes. Okay.
I
Good.
didn't say
Here's
that.
a
Brewers
pound.
win.
Here's a tip. I'm out.
And then Brewers win, and then last night would have been to clinch it. Okay, that's fine. So
that
you
was
didn't
the problem.
So you
I
didn't
guess.
like the vibes. Now I thought they would have been sky high after that first inning on Tuesday night.
There was some excitement after the first inning. There was.
It did seem like the crowd was trying to stay into it yesterday, like
On
throughout
TV,
as much as. What do you mean on TV?
Well, I didn't go last night,
I know, but
on TV it felt that way.
Oh, okay. It seemed like you were trying to cover up, saying the TV was making it seem better than it was.
No,
Because later into the game,
night.
it seemed like it was an absolute frenzy because that's where Janney and Appleton said, I'm still exhausted after being at the game yesterday. What a roller coaster. Sound level was incredible and continued even as everyone was making their way through the concourse to go home. People were just spontaneously breaking out and let's go Brewers chants, and hundreds other would take it up. I don't think a single person left early, at least not in our section. What a game. So conflicting reports as to what the energy was like, but it seemed like it was off the chain last night. And the excitement was definitely brought by Trevor McGill, who you want to talk about excitement when he hangs out with our guy Hunter Baumgart after the game. John, there are certain moments that are going to be game changers in a football game, in a basketball game, what have you. Last night, if this game gets out of whack when Trevor McGill comes in early, Tim Allen pointed to it a bunch of times last night, feeling very reminiscent of Josh Hader coming in the second inning of Game 7 in the 2018 World Series, and you're like, or an NLCS, and you're like, whoa, we just burned our best bullpen guy here in the second inning. Didn't even have the lead.
Better result, though, this time.
Much, much better result. And Trevor McGill talked about exactly why he was as fired up as he was and said he needed to send a message, and that time was then to make it.
Trevor, when you're coming in there in the fourth inning,
Come on, Hunter.
That's not a usual role, obviously, for you to come in that early in the game. But what's your mindset? Postseason, anything can happen, right? So what's your mindset as you head in there?
Changed the tone of the game. We were down 3-1 and a little sluggish, and I felt a strikeout the side would fire the boys up, and I guess it did. So
yeah, absolutely. So, later in the game, watching there from the dugout, your view of Jackson's second homer, just the thought going through your mind, that second home run, and then obviously with Garrett as well, just that whole inning.
we paid those guys a lot of money, and they're doing what their talent has in store for them. I couldn't be more happy and more proud of those guys, and they stepped up big for us tonight, and it's great to see.
How about the rest of the guys there in that bullpen, obviously stepping up as well throughout the game to hold New York to where they were?
Yeah, I've been saying it all season. It's next man up mentality, and it don't matter if it's the fourth or the ninth. So, once again, proud of those guys, and just go back out tomorrow and fight for it again.
Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Thank you, Hunter, because those are a couple of my favorite sound bites that I've gotten from a baseball player after. One, John Armin, he said, boys are a little sluggish. We need to change the tone of that game.
Oh.
I need to try to fire the boys up. He's like, John, I thought the 3 strikeouts would. No one was awake. So I said, let's wake the bleep up.
I love that.
And then it did fire up the crowd. I like fire up the boys. And sometimes you need a little bit more of that juice on the sideline instead of just hey, we're good. Hey, we're good. Hey, it's going to turn. We're good. We're good.
The positive is like, no, let's kick it in the butt a little bit. And he noticed everyone needed a wake up call, and he gave it to him. And I like that. He's like, let's go here. Our season's on the line. Let's go. And I don't know. Is he pocket watching a little bit? Was he pocket watching there, Trevor McGill? I don't want to.
You pay those dudes a lot of money. They got to perform. I thought that's a great statement. Hey, we paid Jackson Chourio a lot of money to start his career. Let's see what he can do right away.
That was great.
But the best part is you get a vet perspective, right? This is the vet perspective on a team of young guys. All right, they needed to be woke up. I woke them up.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the way these two rose to the occasion? Well, we pay them a lot of money. We expect them to rise to the occasion. That's a vet perspective because that's something that managers have been telling you all in those clubhouses for a long, long time. You get paid a lot of money to play a child's game. Enjoy it. It's very important. There's a lot of people who wake up every day and based off of what you do in the playoffs means they have a good day at work or they have a bad day at work. It's time for you to live up to that money we're paying. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that throughout my time playing. And I didn't play baseball, but my time playing sports, you would come in and they'd say, you get paid a lot of money. You paid a lot of money to come in here to grind away for a kid's game that's so much fun. You're the best in the world. You got to make this happen. I'm not surprised one bit that Chourio and Mitchell hit those home runs.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this is how different this team is. I kind of expected when we got to the top of the lineup there in the 8th, this is our last chance. Something's going to happen.
Oh, I love that.
I had that feeling.
I love that.
You watch.
Makes one of us.
You watch that lineup go rolling around. You watch that lineup go rolling around. And, once you get through Bryce Terang there at the bottom, you're like, okay, here we go. It's go time. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected. I definitely couldn't say I called my shot there with with Jackson Chourio. I didn't call it like Babe Ruth. I didn't call it like whoever that was in Seinfeld, Armin. But I did kind of have a feeling with this being the last run through here potentially in the play that something special was going to happen.
Damn, that's awesome. I'm glad somebody did because I'll be completely honest with you, fellas. I was the Eeyore in the house. I was the Eeyore in the house. I'm looking like this is getting real late. Wife's already asleep. Baby's upstairs sleeping. Nobody's going to know. I went outside. I cracked a tall boy, and I thought, you know what? We might be cheersing to the end of the season here. We might be cheersing to the final couple outs. And luckily, that was a very celebratory one that led to another celebratory one right after.
You do have to be realistic. Even Jerry Kramer said before the last drive of the Ice Bowl, we had that somewhat sinking feeling that maybe this was not to be. But part of me said, I'm calling all heroes. In that 8th inning, I said, wouldn't it be something if Jackson could do it again and save us?
Second time he's used that one already.
And he put the cape on right there. Now, did I expect it to happen? How can you expect something like that? But you hope for it. You try and have the belief until the final out. We're only down a run
There's
here.
something
it's
different
not a
about
run.
this team, Armin.
They were not daunted last
night. You keep saying hope, and you can't expect it. I've had people tell me this year, it gets there to the late innings, and they expect something to happen. This team, this is a different feel. This is a different vibe. This is an elimination game again tonight. And I kind of expect something special to happen again tonight. It's a different team. It's different.
And I don't, it doesn't, you get that feeling and it doesn't guarantee something's going to happen. Anything can happen.
Think about this. 93 wins. 93 wins they got this year. 93 wins. That's not by surprise. That's not by luck. They got 93 wins.
Well,
and then you need to validate it in the wild card round because everybody says, 6 teams make the playoffs now. 6 teams make the playoffs, and you got to.
I was lining up the excuse.
You got to validate it in the wild card round because this thing's inequitable. So they can feel the pressure. They know what people are saying. They understand, hey, we're the one team that won a division this year. And we were the first division to get one. And yet if we don't make it through this wild card round, we're going to have people saying, well, we just played in a weak division. You think they don't hear and feel all of that?
Amazing.
They don't have all of that on there. Do you think they're not thinking in the back of their heads, man, this kind of sucks. We won that division. We didn't get a 1 or 2 seed. Man, we got to grind it out here in these 3 games. They're feeling all that. They're down last night 3-1 because of an error. It should have been 2-1. And they could easily say, woe is us. This happened again, just like the last time. Haven't won since 21 in our house. Like all these things could have came, and then it didn't. And then it didn't. With everything on the line, it didn't. They came through in the 8th, came through in the top of the 9th. It's just different. This is a different feel.
It's special seasons are made of special stories, and that was a special one last night. Pat Murphy even said it, John. He said it pregame where he's like, all that we did this year, 93 wins, win the division by 10 plus games, basically run it wire to wire. It's going to feel a little empty if we don't win tonight. I've never really heard a manager say that right away. It's going to feel pretty empty if we don't win tonight.
And
we
honest.
can try to say that it was a good season. We can try to say that there was this, that, and the third. It's not going to be good enough if we don't win tonight. Now they got to win here tonight to make sure that it doubles up.
Exactly. Because that being said, and I believe what you guys are saying, I agree. All these things are good, but every team at this stage has won a lot of games, and they believe these things too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could. So thank goodness we didn't end up like the Orioles.
Yeah, and every team in the past,
Astros.
Team in the past believed too, just like the Brewers teams of the past believed too. But they believe differently now. At least I do.
Okay.
I believe differently.
Gotta
That
love it.
eighth inning was different for me. Did not feel like the last few years. That eighth inning, when we hit the top of the lineup, I said, all right, I kind of expect something to happen here. This is going to be our last shot here. Starting off with Jackson is probably going to be our last shot. I actually expected something to happen. And when Garrett Mitchell jumped up in there, I swear to you, Armin, I looked right at the television and I said, all right, you battled back.
Yeah.
This is your time.
All the stuff you've been through. What you gonna do?
And you don't want to see, and you don't want to know the stuff I was saying when he hit that homer. Of course, silently, because I didn't want to wake anybody up.
Yeah, you had to be real silent.
How do you like me now? That's all I want to know. How do you like me now, Garrett Mitchell? That's right.
I was definitely on the Garrett Mitchell doubt train. Starting to be on the Garrett Mitchell doubt train. Very, very happy to be jumping right up off that one.
That's why you need a power threat. That's why you need a power threat in the playoffs. Yep. That's all I'm saying. And you got a shot because Josh Hader's not closing for you.
Okay. Well, we need to get to a break. Otherwise, I would address that remarkably low blow by Armin Sarian. But let me do my job. Let's take a timeout. We got to talk some football. Matt LePay is going to be here coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll give you an update on the status health-wise. What about performance-wise by your Green Bay Packers? 2-2, getting ready to go to LA. We'll talk some Packers football as well because we're getting ready for that game right here on the game. Getting you ready for game 3 tonight, Brewers and Mets. It's 9 to noon. It's the greatest time of year. Yes, playoff baseball is fantastic, but it's football season as well. Over millions of fans across 33 states last year got in the game last season, making picks on Underdog Fantasy. You need to join them here in the second quarter of the NFL season. Win up to 1,000 times your money in a single night by simply choosing higher or lower on your favorite football player stats this year. Like touchdowns, passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, receptions. They're simple stats. You just choose higher or lower and watch your wins add up. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head to Underdog Fantasy's super easy to use mobile app. Download it today or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Billy and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash deposit pick-em entry plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit on Underdog Fantasy. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Billy. Claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. I think we were all Thanasis Antetokounmpo last night, who was seen after the game walking down outside the Brewers clubhouse, guys, wearing a Mike Moustakas autographed Brewers jersey, yelling, "I'm never taking this off. I'm never taking this off." Heck yeah, Thanasis. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was
we all
awesome.
need a little 43 in our lives. I think every single day, John, that we're in a playoff chase, Thanasis should just be there. Like if the Packers get to the playoffs, bring Thanasis. He could be on the sidelines.
You know what? Yes, and we need to have the end of the bench somewhere for him to sit with a camera on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't need to be in the dugout, but can we get like a mock-up bench with a couple wooden planks so he feels like he's on the court at Pfizer, but he's really there at AmFam, waving the towel, jumping up and down, flexing his muscles. Yes, that's what I want.
I'm thinking we put him, John, your little bench, we put right by the ball kid.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right
on the dirt, right?
Because
then he's right there.
Yeah, right.
He can be right there by the camera well, continuing to wave, fire up the crowd right there. He can also then on the sidelines, he can overcompensate for the come-ons from Coach LaFleur while he's, worried with the offense.
I say we get him there, Brandon Jennings, Coach LaFleur. We get them all down there and start doing it.
Why not?
If we get all the hype, man, we can't possibly lose.
You can't possibly lose with that kind of energy on the field. There's just no way. Casey the Arborist hit us up on the talking text line. We were playing a softball game last night, had the game on the radio, paused the game for both home runs. Both teams went wild because fans were on it, both sides. Just felt like a magical night. This season has been magical. Let's go. I think there are a lot of people that were taking it in like that. We had Stuart in the 920 who had said that he was lucky enough to be at the game last night, said it was great to be able to feel some history for some Brewers moments. Also, the stat that was going around last night, Brewers had not won a playoff game since game 4 of the 82 World Series that they trailed going into the 7th inning.
Wouldn't they be game 5 then too? Because they trailed going into game 5.
Or maybe it was game 5 then. Maybe it was game 5 of the 82 World Series. I apologize.
It's okay.
And then but it was the only one they won. So then they didn't do it in game 4.
Oh, I see.
They had won one game in which they had trailed by multiple runs going into to start the 7th inning.
Multiple runs. That was it.
That's a multiple run.
Because they were down
every time you start adding extra phrases in the sentence, that's where these stats can get a little skewed.
That's where they can all get hairy. And then it was also the first time the Brewers in team history had won a game in the playoffs when they trailed entering the 8th inning. In those such games, they had been 0-26 all time.
So this team is different. This team is different than every single Brewers team that's ever walked the streets of Greenfield or wherever you want to say.
Greendale, all of them. Tosa, hit Port Washington up.
They are absolutely different because they've done something no Brewer has ever done.
While they were strolling around Thiensville, there's no way Jim Gantner and company were doing something like this. Also, great news
Ward,
here.
Fifth Ward.
Come on now. Are you kidding me? There's no way as you're walking up down Lisbon Avenue or Lisbon Road that anybody had thought
Wisconsin
to be able to do
Ave.
this. Next question.
Down there, Carnivore.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Jefferson.
I got to think there might be a carnivore dinner for the man throwing out the first pitch here tonight. I think Robin Yount might need to have some Wagyu steak before he goes out there and throws out a strike to start out game 3.
We have had a really
start pairing that Wagyu steak up with a couple cocktails.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe a glass of wine.
We know that team like to hang out together and party together, John.
Yeah,
so
they partied a little bit, didn't they?
They party a little bit. We've only made a few too many movies about them partying it up. So that might be the party going on later on tonight. As Robin Yount will throw out the first pitch, 6:08 first pitch here tonight for Brewers and Mets decisive game 3. On the other side, we'll talk still a little bit of Brewers with a man that called Brewer games for over almost a decade, all through maybe the best era of Brewers baseball. Matt LePay had a front row seat for in the broadcast booth. He joins us, the Hall of Fame voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, talk about the Badgers going up against the Boilermakers this weekend as well. That kicks off hour number 2 with Kuhn, Billy, and Armin, 9 to noon on the Game. Jumping around in Madtown and on Brewers Boulevard. It's 9 to noon on The Game. Billy Schmid, Armin Sarien, and John Coon, our two-time Super Bowl champion, with all of you on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And that music, it doesn't bring in the House of Pain. It brings in Matt LePay, the Hall of Fame voice of the Wisconsin Badgers. But also, as he's rocking one of my favorite Brewer logos, the new grill tertiary logo of the Brew Crew style. Matt LePay loves some baseball, called some of the biggest moments in Brewers baseball of the last decade, and he joins us now on 9 to noon. Matt, that's a pretty special night at the ballpark. I know you were able to witness and call a bunch of them, but to be able to hear, you've heard that stadium remarkably loud. Had you heard it that crazed last night after the Garrett Mitchell home run in the 8th inning?
Yeah, probably ranks up there with when Braun homered in 08 in the 8th inning against the Cubs, and obviously when they beat the Diamondbacks in 11, when Woodruff homered off Kershaw, game 1 of the 18 LCS. But yeah, that was, you felt like, just even watching it on television, there was this weight lifted. I mean, the ballpark, I heard you guys talk about it yesterday. The ballpark at game 1 is like, let's go. Let's get something going here. Let's self-start. And it was almost like you're waiting for the inevitable. You're waiting for Lucy to pull the football away from Charlie Brown when he's ready to kick it. And then all of a sudden, last night, everything changes, with what happened in the 8th inning with Chourio and then Mitchell. And now we're like, no one's complaining about a short series right now. It's the glorious night last night. And now can they pay it off tonight? We all know how this works, that how the season is viewed by a lot of people comes down to tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see how these guys handle it.
Matt, what's your thoughts on Jackson Chourio? To me, it's fast rise to what he has become, and I don't think we even have an idea yet of the prospect that he is going to become, because it has been so fast. He still is so young. I feel like this is like a once in a generation type player that we have, and we have him on our team for a long time.
For a very long time, which is a beautiful thing, right? I went in just as a fan. Now, I mean, this is a team I can just be a fan of. Now, I'm not, the fill-in guy over there anymore, but I just, I love that organization. But my expectations for him this year were really modest. I thought, okay, they got a great deal here, and he's locked in. But really, what can we realistically expect in the first couple of months of the season? You're going, oh yeah, okay, this is a struggle. He's in the big leagues now, but you remember. I don't know all the particular moments. I just remember one of those games where Freddie Peralta in the dugout was kind of giving him a pretty emphatic pep talk. I think he played conservatively on a ball hit out to him, and the message was, "Man, you're an athlete. Go be one." Just go let it rip. It's like, John, you heard in football, like, whatever you do it 110 miles an hour. And it just seemed like there were probably other things involved, but it seemed like from there, the young guy just, like, the switch flipped. Like, yeah, I do belong here. And what he's done over a sustained period of time, I've been hoping with this team, with him and Turang and Freelick, all these young guys, that they're too young to know better. Just go play, even with the lights being as bright as they are now. And the kids carried them at crunch time, with what Mitchell did and what Chourio did. And it's exciting to think that Jackson Chourio's career is just starting.
And John, I want you to answer this too, but Matt, like, when because you guys have seen it and been around it for so long, you can tell there's just something different, right? Like, Heller was at spring training and he's now heard him 2 different spring trainings, and quickly you can tell that there's something different about the player. Matt, maybe you start here, but like, how quickly for you can you tell that this guy is going to be special? I would think for that it would be like a Melvin Gordon at Wisconsin, where there's a little something different about this 25 cat.
Yeah, he just you've talked about Chourio specifically, to be able to sustain it. He had the rough couple first months, but then the next month it wasn't like he was a one-hit wonder. Now, look, it said his career is just starting. Let's see how he finishes this year, and then how he comes back with everything next year. But to be able to do this in big moments for this team throughout the course of the season, when other guys with some veterans might have been scuffling, but this guy, both defensively and what he does at the plate, and one of these things too, guys, it probably sounds boring because we're going to remember his 2 home runs, especially in the 8th to tie it, then Mitchell with the 2-run homer to win it. But how about the old line in baseball, get them on, get them over, get them in. In the 5th inning, they're down 2, Terang doubles, and Churio hits a ground ball to the right side, which is as old school as it gets. Get the guy to third, and then Perkins drives him in with a sacrifice fly. Those things, they can get lost, but that kind of got him, they were down 2, and then they get him down 1. But that was in the middle of the game, a pretty significant moment, not to mention Payam striking out, was Iglesias, right, with the bases loaded the 6th inning. Those things helped set up what happened in the 8th inning.
I agree with you on that, Matt. I thought that extra run in there gave them the 2-run lead at the end, which makes it a lot easier for Devin Williams to work his pitches because he's not worried about a home run tying the game and sending it into an extra half an inning at least. And I thought Payamps with Iglesias, because it was the night before that Payamps and Iglesias passed each other at first base, and that was the momentum in game 1 that really went and sucked the air out of everything. When last night it was the strikeout of Iglesias that was kind of like, now we get going, now we start moving. I thought those were 2 big things. But as you asked it, Billy, and I think this about Jackson Churio. When I saw him hit his 2nd inside the park home run this summer, I thought, okay, this is validation, because there are some guys that get risen to the occasion very quickly. And I can remember a couple in the NFL, some guys get risen up and it doesn't really work. And you're okay, they're forcing this.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of guys that get risen up and you say, this is what the professionals saw in him. Devontae Adams in 2014 against the Cowboys in a playoff game.
I love that
rose to the occasion. That was a big one. David Bakhtiari starting opening game his rookie year against the 49ers in San Francisco. I was like, this is going to be too big for the kid. We should not put him against this. Alden Smith, first game, we shouldn't do it. Held his own, played just fine. Ooh, wow, eye-opening experience. So you get some of these where you get the guys into spots and you wonder, baseball's different. There's so many games, and instead of saying, okay, I saw him in a game or a series or a couple plays rise to the occasion, it's what did he do over this month? What did a month worth of work do? And with Jackson Churio, to me, it was every month got better, and he went from being, hey, this is a kid we're going to have down at the bottom of the lineup, and let's see if he excites us, right, Matt? Now he's at the top of the lineup. Kid, do something for us because we are
Save our
following
season.
you.
Exactly.
Too young to know better. He just plays, and that is so fun to watch. And he's not alone. I mean, Garrett Mitchell too. I mean, these guys. Think about this team. That's a lot of fun. I mean, we love home runs, right? Who doesn't? But this team is so athletic. It can run. It puts they'll strike out their share, but they'll put the ball in play and they put pressure on defenses. And when you get into a short series, whatever, this team's versatility to be able to not they'll hit home runs, but they're not solely reliant on it. And when you get guys who can motor the way so many guys in this lineup can, that's a lot to think about if you're the Mets tonight, and if all goes well, the Phillies in the next series, because the Brewers can beat you in a variety of ways.
Yeah, and then the Padres after that, man. We were just talking about it because then it's a home series and then it's game 1 at home instead of having to go.
Some
to
of
the
us got to make plans. The ballpark's not in our backyard.
Yeah,
So
some
we
of
gotta
us make
start
plans.
planning this thing out.
That's the World
So
Series.
Billy, apologies if you've talked about this, but I do recall you at a Bucks game, filling one up and the camera on you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what any possibility of that? Is that not fit for baseball? But you get yourself a big old cup and get a camera on you and just take care of business.
Beer whenever it's necessary, Matt, and I
Stay
will.
ready. Stay
I
ready.
will, for the good of the team, drink.
Yeah.
You know what? We all have our
Twist
deals.
my arm.
I guess I'll
This
do
is
it.
my sacrifice. This is my cross to bear.
I'll do it for you guys.
Give me a high life. I'll
Yeah.
do it. All right.
Anything for the ball club.
You're damn right, Matt. A team player is really what I would like to call myself. Before we flip to Saturday, I want to talk Boilermakers, and they got some changes going on that side that the Badgers are hopefully going to be able to feast on. But you mentioned it briefly in there that you get to now just be a fan of the Brewers. How much fun is that for you, Matt? Now, like in this job, a lot of people talk about it. For us and being on every single day, we get to be more of fans. You calling the game, you get to be the fan first reaction to it as the Badgers are playing. But for you, how different, how much fun is it to have a team that you can actually just be a fan of this close to you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm probably different because of what I do for a living. You know, how you watch a game, my fandom is different from maybe other people, but you know, that I'm still not above, you know, a little fist pump and, you know, pop off the chair when something big happens. But it reminds you that what we do with, what you guys do, John, with the Packers every day, you know, not just playing for them, but what your role now, you know, that is a job. You try to do it. You know, you try to be fair and all of that. And I do that with Wisconsin, at least I hope to. But just to sit back and like, damn, this is still pretty fun, right? You know, nothing beats a full ballpark or, you know, Lambeau full, Camp Randall full, AmFam Field full, and the excitement when things go really well for the home team. I mean, I saw the movie, the Just a Bit Outside. I finally had a chance to look at that the last couple of days. And I wasn't here when they were in the series in 82, but you learn a lot. You get to know some of those guys, you know, through my connections with the Brewers and what that means to a city. And you got a glimpse of what it meant to the city last night to see the Brewers win a playoff game in the way they did. And it's a good reminder. This stuff's still supposed to be pretty fun. Everybody will tweet 8,000 times during a game and the emotions will go up and down. That's the fun of all this stuff.
Okay. So pardon my ignorance here. I thought that was only in theaters. Have you gotten special streaming privileges?
Well, you know.
Oh, you son of a gun! You're hiding it from the name. Come on, John.
Individual special screening for one of the GOATs, Matt LePay.
That's Hall of Fame right
there.
there.
I had to go to somebody's house who actually had the stream. But anyway, you do what you have to do.
I can't wait to watch it, but I haven't gotten a chance.
Man, I thought we would have gotten that invite to Red and White Wine Bar for the.
Son of a gun!
That's interesting. That's interesting. I thought we would have gotten that invite, but you know what? It makes sense.
Well, actually, Mike had the video camera in the theater. He was doing one of those bootleg deals.
One of the old school guys. Yeah. He had a good seat though. He was right up underneath the projector. Matt, let's talk about it. Coming up this weekend, these are games that I loved how you and Tausch signed off. I'd handed off to me and Lance last week as the Badgers lose in the second half at USC. Of now you got to start looking at games that you got to win. This has got to be a little bit of a get right situation against a Purdue team that has a lot of changes going on their side, changing their offensive play caller.
Yeah, they let go Graham Harrell, name that you guys are pretty familiar with, I'm sure. They let him go after their game last week against Nebraska. They've elevated Jason Simmons, who was an analyst, but his resume, he was at Miami of Ohio for a few years. But he was a high school coach in the state of Indiana at a couple of schools, but they've plugged him into that position right now. And you're right, Billy. I mean, I think coaches are going to talk up whoever they play and make them sound like the 2010 Green Bay Packers, but they've had issues. I mean, they can play pretty well at times, Purdue, but they haven't been able to sustain it. I mean, they got blitzed against Notre Dame. Now they did with Nebraska, with an improving Nebraska team that was scoreless at the half. Mm-hmm. Purdue kicks a field goal in the third quarter. They're right there in that game, well into the second half, and then Nebraska was able to break loose. One thing to look for in this game, Hudson Card is their quarterback. He started his career at Texas, started a few games for the Longhorns, but he's been at Purdue now for a while. He has thrown 4 interceptions so far. 3 have been pick sixes.
Oh, we like that.
So, Wisconsin's still trying to generate some more turnovers. They got the first half, they were able to do that against USC. One was a muffed punt, a gift, but they got a pick. They forced a fumble. You figure Purdue can run it pretty well, but still, when they throw it, you're going to get some opportunities here based on what's happened in the first 4 games. So again, with the Badgers, just trying to get some juice, and if things go sideways, get it back. And that's been an ongoing issue with this program here for the last few years, to be real honest.
Yeah, you said it. There was a point in Alabama where you said, oh, that's where the tide turned, and it never turned around. And for the USC game, it was clearly going into halftime. There was something said there in USC, and there was something not said for Wisconsin that led to that. But pressure can make diamonds, or pressure can break glass. And there is a lot of pressure in Madison right now, not just how they're feeling on their last 2 games, but with some outside kind of conversations going on with some ex-Badgers and some other people. Where do you think the headspace is right now? Are they good in that locker room? Are they good in that coaching staff?
They seem to be, John, as best I can tell. I mean, we have the chance to Tausch and I have a chance to view the practices, and the energy still seems to be there. I know Hunter Wohler talked about it after the game. He still has a strong belief. They believe that they're closer to getting this thing flipped than a lot of folks outside. And I get the frustration of fans right now. But you're right too. I mean, the elephant in the room here, and you hinted at it, is that you have some ex-players who have, said some things on social media, Braylon Allen being one of them. And, I like that kid a lot, but I guess my thought was, if you got something to say it.
Yeah, right. Say it.
I don't know what he's waiting for, but
yeah. Just if it's there, if there's something, just, say it. But, he's a young guy and played his ass off at Wisconsin, and I got all the respect in the world for him. But, when the outside expectations, or maybe within the building too, that you figured you would be progressing more than this, the frustration with the fan base is understandable. 4th and 18 inches, can't convert it. The frustration is understandable. Dropping a punt when you had things going your way, among other things. There were other mistakes. So I think Fickell understands where it's coming from, but coaches tell you that they don't pay attention. They know. they know what's being said.
Matt, I think frustration with the fan base, that's one that I would exclude at all times. That would never be a pressure for a player, for a coach, because fan bases, you can't make them happy. They're always riding that fine line. If you win, you didn't win by enough. If you lost, you shouldn't have lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a great first half they played out there against USC. That wasn't good. That was a great first half. That was something they could have all been proud of. Not finishing the game, that's something they need to work on. But how can they hang their hat on what they did in that first half versus the second half? How do they eliminate what the look was, the second 30 minutes versus the first 15 minutes? What do they have to do to hang on the good side of what happened out there in LA?
Yeah, they'll tell you the devil's in the details. We were talking with Fickell about it last night on his show, like, a dropped punt. This kid, Tyrell Henry, he's a transfer from Michigan State. He's a pretty good return guy, has been that in his football career. But just be, if you're ranging far to your left as he was, or if you're ranging far one way or the other, just signal for a fair catch. Just catch the ball. Just, simplify it. The 4th and 1 or the 4th and half a yard that they missed. I know there's the frustration over the shotgun, and I understand that, but it was one missed assignment. Actually, a couple. You had one of the linemen who got rocked back a little bit, and then you had a tight end and a running back, behind the left side of the line, and there's a miscommunication, and the safety comes screaming off the edge and makes a play. Just simple things like that. You correct it, and it can make a difference. I was asking Fickell last night. USC has a 6'4" and a 6'6" receiver, and they both made big catches. And the quarterback, Miller Moss, made some tough throws. So I said, okay, what's the rule of thumb if you're a 6-foot corner or a 6-foot DB going up against guys like that? And one of the things with college is that you can contact a little, as long as the ball's not in the air, you've got more freedom as a defensive player to create contact with the receiver, get into them earlier. Again, just simple. I guess when you hear coaches talk about correctable errors, that's part of that. Just be a little bit more detail oriented, and that could go a long way. As you guys know, games can be decided on a handful of plays, and you could say that was the case against SC last Saturday.
Yeah, and it's crazy what a W does. Like, it's just crazy what a W does for the confidence and the energy around a team. We talked about it with the Brewers, what a difference 40 minutes made last night. It can definitely change with just a little good chicken soup for the soul, right, Armin? A little chicken soup game coming up this weekend.
Gotta have that.
Don't let Lara watch, because I don't think it's going to be very good for her Boilers.
No, Boiler football has not been good for anybody.
The one thing, too, guys, that Fickell's talked about with his team is just the confidence factor, everything from the neck up. If you're a Badger player here, this team is this decade 2-11 against ranked teams. It's not great. And one of those was against Purdue, which was ranked 25th and didn't stay in the rankings. That was 3 years ago. And then Iowa was the only team, they beat them. They beat the Hawkeyes in 2021. They stayed in the top 25. but they haven't had that feeling of making a lot of big plays or getting a big win in games where you were the underdog. So if you do it once, even at, this week where the Badgers are favored, do it once and be crisp. And then you go to Rutgers next week, and that's been an improved team. Then
That's
you
gonna
try
be
to
fun,
you
too.
you build up something there. But this is a group of players that they haven't experienced a lot of success here. So until you do it, it's probably easy for doubt to seep in if things aren't going quite right. And even when they are, it's sometimes maybe, okay, what's going to happen here?
Yeah,
And,
waiting for the other shoe to drop.
know,
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I didn't really think about. Programs are programs and they last forever. But the kids in college, I mean, a program is completely flipped in 3 to 5 years, completely flipped. So that generational winning is a lot shorter of a generation than what, we're accustomed to in professional sports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah, and there's this, the big bad Wisconsin is going to always be able to get 4th and 1. Well, not really. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. It's just not. And this group, Melvin Gordon isn't here. Those offensive linemen who are all NFL starting NFL player caliber.
Right.
They're trying to build back up to that, and those are things that are beyond a stat sheet. I think that Fickell and his staff are trying to create with these guys, but they just need to experience something good. And there's still 8 games left in the regular season,
No
so
doubt.
there's still a lot of chances here to get things right. But they have to, as best you possibly can. Yeah, and you're right, John. The outside noise is the outside noise, but as long as those guys still believe, and they seem like they do right now, then that gives them the best chance to get this thing fixed.
Well, I think this is going to be a good weekend for the Badgers. I really do. And Graham Harrell's not there. John, any good memories of Graham Harrell? Your favorite memory? I'm sure you have one. Just take the snap, Graham. Just take the snap. Packers Saints 2012. Anybody remember that?
Just take this.
I can't be the only one who remembers that.
Oh, man.
Fumbles the snap? No.
Well, listen. No, you're bringing up a bad memory. We're trying to be
I know.
happy here.
No, Aaron Rodgers got poked in the eye.
Yeah.
We're on the 1 yard line. All he has to do is take the snap and hand it off, and he fumbles the snap.
Fumbles it. We almost lost that game.
Graham. We're crying out
No, we
loud.
won
One deal.
28-14. We didn't almost lose that game.
No, it was closer.
Again,
Might
this
have been
guy is just bringing
28-21.
up bad things.
Might have been 28-21. We won.
Goodness gracious.
Whatever it is, we're gonna win this weekend. Packers won that game. Badgers will win this weekend. I'm manifesting it. Brewers will win tonight. It's all happening. It's all good
14-point
things.
favorites at
Good
certain
vibes.
institutions
Good
that you'd be
vibes.
interested in. Matt, we appreciate it, man. Network coverage starts at 9. We'll hear you at 11.
Sounds good, guys. Have a good one.
And that is Matt LePay. And I lied.
Matt.
You'll actually hear him at 10. Not many people work harder than Matt LePay on
No.
Badger game days. My man does the pregame, him and Tausch for about an hour before the game. They take it from Mike Heller at
They
10.
do an hour?
Dude, Heller only does an hour. Heller only does an hour.
How do they get Tausch to do an hour? That's twisting some arms.
Yeah, and about an hour after the game, too. I would know because post game, we're sitting there waiting. We're like, hey, Mark, taking all the good stuff. Taking all the good stuff, Mark. Come on. Give me something decent. But luckily, him and Matt lay out everything that we can say on the post game. And then we wrap it up with myself and Lance Allen coming up 11 a.m. kick from the camp. Badgers and Boilermakers coming up on Saturday. All right, 414-799-1973. Get your guesses in right now. Many people already guessing, is it going to be Brewers theme? Is it going to be playoff baseball theme for What Does Billy Know?
Many are wondering.
Many are waiting. Many are patiently waiting. And many have already put in their guesses for 1 through 10. How many do I get right? And What Does Billy Know? Thanks to Tap In Golf Bar, Waukesha, and in Sussex. Get yours in now. Final couple of minutes before we play the game next. Kuhn, Billy, and Armin, stay wide on the game.
John Kuhn here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Wouldn't it be nice if you customize anything in your life? How would you customize tonight's game 3? Would you just chalk up a Brewers homer in every inning? Would you chalk up a no-hitter for the Brewers here tonight? Which way would you customize it? Well, you can kind of do that with windows and doors from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. The durable materials gets tested, and they open these doors and close these latches on these windows and shades thousands and thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. And that's what they do for you, not what you have to do. Other unique offerings include fold-away hardware, custom colors, ease of maintenance, because honestly, who in the right mind has the time for that? None of us. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin also includes innovative features like shades between the glass, integrated roll screens, and noise reduction. A bunch of things that really you can't think of, but you can't live without. And right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. But you got to hurry. That deal only works through October. Again, 0% interest for up to 3 years, but that offer ends October 31st. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. And when you go into the showroom, let Gina Della know. It was me, John Kuhn, who sent you in there. Visit PelletWI.com today.
That's why these big old rocks.
9 to noon on the game. And the game is here for everybody that was ready and willing to participate on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line, guessing 1 through 10. How many does Billy get right? And what does Billy know? It is here with Tap In Golf Bar, Waukesha and in Sussex, 2 amazing locations. Go and see the guys out there. Keep your swing fresh all year long. Brett and I were sitting there watching some baseball last week, one of the owners, and it is a fantastic place to watch games, keep your swing fresh. There was a youngster sitting there, John, I'm telling you, he hit 400 balls. My elbows both hurt the entire time.
I would just get so sore if I hit that many balls.
I was hurting for this young man as he was working on his swing, but that's what you can do. Or you can just go and play a nice, comfortable round, sign up for their league play. Starts in October, so there's still plenty of time. Go over there, tapingolfbar.com to get more information as well. And they bring us What Does Billy Know as we compete for that free hour of simulator time at Tap In Golf Bar.
Well, if you thought this was going to be about what does Billy know about the wild card round in baseball, well, it's only 4 years old, so no, it's
You're
not
wrong.
about that. And Armin probably made these picks made these questions about 5 days ago.
Can I-
over the
well,
weekend?
Can I just say this? Can I just say
What do you have
this?
to say?
I was sitting here. I was trying to get ahead of my work yesterday. I was 3
What does
o'clock.
Billy know about Brewers
No.
and Diamondbacks? Is this what the prediction was about 5 days ago?
No, it was 3 o'clock yesterday. I'm getting the questions and I'm thinking of a topic. I said, if I do Brewers Mets and we lose, and I don't want to bring everyone down all over again.
Sure.
So I didn't do that.
No, he didn't do it, and he was smart. He was right about that. I knew what you were doing, Armin. I know you were trying to be proactive about this. So it's what does Billy know about the Los Angeles Rams?
Yeah, Rams. We're playing the Rams.
Okay. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
Okay, here you go, Billy. Of course, you know that the Rams have not just played in LA in the last 4 years.
I can only imagine how this is written.
Well, I
I can hear John trying
fine.
to edit it, so I can imagine the misspellings and the mess up here in the typing.
Why
of how
don't you just read
difficult
the
this is, right?
question? I don't understand the problem here.
How many stadiums have the Rams played in LA?
How many stadiums in LA have they played?
How
in?
many different stadiums have they played at in LA?
Didn't authorize this editorializing. All right, go ahead.
Well, I'm guessing they've played at. I know they played at the Coliseum because that's where the Packers played them back in 2016 when Ty Montgomery decided to return the ball and then fumble it on the.
Oh, it's
final
funny.
kickoff.
I brought that up yesterday. Armin didn't remember it. Armin didn't remember something. So there you go. You've remembered it
There
just
we
like I
go.
did. That's one.
According to who?
Cool. That's one.
What do you mean I
else?
didn't remember it? I just
They've
wrote the
played at
question.
SoFi.
Okay.
And I gotta think they played at the Rose Bowl, so I'm gonna go with 3.
Well, you got it right, but they didn't play at the Rose Bowl. They played
Ooh.
at something called
Whoops.
Anaheim Stadium from 1980 to 1994.
Wow. Okay.
Armin,
I'll take
can you
that
look
win.
up? Armin, can you look up what an Anaheim Stadium is?
No, I can't actually because that's
They
I
play at
was
the Angel
prepared.
Stadium.
Damn. Okay.
No,
Gotcha.
I'll look it up. Anaheim
Okay.
Stadium.
All right,
Probably.
so
It
there,
probably
you got it
was.
right. You got it
Okay.
right, even though
Sweet.
your assumption for a game was
Yeah,
was
Angel
at a different
Stadium.
place.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anaheim Stadium, Angel
How
Stadium.
about
So
that? They played on that baseball field. I don't
Wow.
remember. I don't remember. I can't say it, but I'll get back to it a little bit later. How about the
Question
Rams
2.
Offensive Rookie of the Year in 1993 and one of Kuhn's ex-teammates?
Number 36, Jerome Bettis.
Jerome
Yeah.
Bettis.
Okay, so I was just about to say it, and then I realized don't do it. Question number 2. I was going to say, I don't remember Jerome Bettis running on a baseball diamond, but he must have.
Good
He
catch.
must have.
Good catch.
I
Yeah.
caught myself at the last second.
Wow.
Okay, there you go. Jerome Bettis, the Rookie of
That's
the Year,
awesome.
1993. And then my rookie year, Bussy. He was my locker mate. His locker was right next to mine.
The absolute best.
Terrible.
Terrible
must have been
locker to
so
be next
awesome.
to. Terrible locker to be next to.
Yeah, you had
Great
no room.
man.
Why?
but the media was up. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can because they're not going to stand in his locker to do interviews. They're going
They're
to stand in
standing
mine
right.
to do the
I'm
interviews.
just trying to get my underpants over
Excuse
here.
me, sir. I'm
Yeah.
kind of naked over here. Can
Who
I
are
please
you?
get my underwear?
Well, I'm on the team. Well, get out of here. We're getting interviewing Jerome.
Here, take his towels and his dirty stuff and get out.
I'm
Did you
not a
pretend-
clubby.
did you-
I'm one of the
Did
players.
you pretend for a second they were there for you, John? Like, yeah.
No, I never did, but I would listen to him answering questions, and I imagined, and I prepared myself for my years to come because I imagined
That's
how
awesome.
I would answer them. And believe me, we didn't answer these questions anything alike, nothing alike the entire time. I
What
love
I'd
Bussy.
really like
one of
to
my
say-
one of my favorite teammates, Jerome
Mm.
Bettis. Not gonna lie. Then I see him about 15 years after my rookie year spent with them, walking through
Big hug?
Detroit, walking through the Detroit airport. I know he had no idea who I was. Couldn't remember me. But that's great. I only spent 1 year with them. It was my rookie year, not
Right,
his.
right,
So
that's
okay.
hilarious.
It's all about how you make people feel.
All right, we
Makes
gotta
you feel great.
move along with this. That's a great story. I hate to do it,
Well,
but
hopefully
we're behind here. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, John.
Well, it's-
sorry for that amazing story
2 out
about
of 2.
Hall
All
of
right.
Famer in the NFL.
You know this, Billy.
Unreal.
The Rams moved from St. Louis to LA, and they moved from LA to St. Louis. But where did the Rams franchise originate and play from 36 to 45?
36 to 45?
They were an OG franchise.
Oh, man. I'm going to just throw something. I'm going to go Brooklyn.
Gangster call right there, but no, it was Cleveland. It was
The
Cleveland.
Cleveland
They
Rams.
actually
Okay.
started in Cleveland in 1936, played at Cleveland Stadium. Then they played at League Park, 37, 42, and parts of 44 and 45, and then Shaw Stadium there in 1938. For any of those wanting to learn a little bit about the stadiums around the Cleveland
Shaw
area.
Stadium used to go up.
on
That place was
Tuesday.
awesome.
Question number 4.
League Stadium.
Where did the Rams play their home games while in St. Louis? Any of the names of the stadium will be accepted.
The Edward Jones Dome was
Yeah.
what I remember.
Yeah,
it
that's
as.
correct. That's one of them. Yeah, it was also
Yeah,
known
okay.
as the TW Dome.
Other names, Trans World or TW Dome, the Edward Jones Dome, like you said, the Dome of America Center, and the Battle Dome.
Oh, the Battle Dome is awesome. Is that because the Battle Hawks play there now? Is that how they call it, the Battle
And
Dome?
that's question number 5. Just give it to them, Marmon. Which
Damn.
current franchise of the UFL currently uses this as their home field? That's correct. Question number 6. The Packers have played on road games against the Rams in Los Angeles 13 times since the Super Bowl era started in 1966. How many of those games have they won?
Oh, this doesn't sound like a very good stat. I'm going to say 3.
1.
Damn, it was even
And
worse.
it was the first one,
In
1966.
We went on a stretch of how many
I
years?
don't like this.
Yeah, without winning a road
Huh?
game in Los Angeles.
Damn,
What
I
are
don't
we
like
talking about here? The first game in the Super Bowl era, 1966, they won it.
That
We
was it.
haven't won out there since 1966. We never won in the state of Tennessee.
Oh, good
we
call,
never won
yes.
in Nashville. So this is not nearly the challenge to win in LA as it has been to win in Nashville. I mean, the world's been circling the sun for millions of years.
Yeah.
And we've never done it. We did it for the first time this year. This is only since 66. History? We talking history? We only going back to the 60s.
I love that we're just streak busters this year. It's fantastic. Just bust every single one of them things. Just need a couple of slow
Brewers,
busters.
Packers,
What?
Packers again.
What?
Just keep busting them. All right,
It's
October
amazing.
21st. This is question number 7. October 21st, 2012 was the last time the Packers played the Rams in St. Louis. They won that game 30-20. Which of these players did not score a touchdown for the Packers in that game? Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, or James Jones?
What year did you say it was?
2012.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to get an easy one there.
Ah, sorry.
I feel like I remember James Jones scoring. I'm going to go Jordy Nelson. Damn it.
It was actually James Jones who did not.
Are you
score in that
serious?
football
Randall
game.
had
In fact,
two.
I had a big third down catch in that game
Mm.
and tore my hamstring. I had
Ouch.
to miss the next 2 games. Yeah, that was a bummer.
Randall
That's a
had
rough
2.
one.
Randall had 2.
I got the first down, coach. Yeah, but John, you busted your hamstring. You're out. for
Well,
3 weeks.
I was foolish. I tried to run over 2 guys at the same time. Ended up getting overextended. Popped my hamstring. Yeah, I was out for the next 2
Randall's
weeks.
second one.
Still got a hole in my hamstring, by the way.
Yeah, but you should have seen the other guys ran right through that double team, John. We're proud of you.
I got the
we
sideline
appreciate it.
hype. I got the sideline hype. I got
Damn
a
straight you
stinger
did.
and a tore hamstring on the same play, but converted a third down. We kicked the field goal to go up 10. Yeah.
Appreciate your
Yeah, you better
sacrifice.
believe it. That was all me. Question number 8. The Rams won the Super Bowl in 1999 when the Greatest Show on Turf team led by Kurt Warner held on to beat the Titans 23-16. Who was the coach of the Super Bowl championship Rams?
Oh, Dick Vermeil.
Dick Vermeil's correct.
I thought you were going to ask me the name of the guy that got
Mike
the tackle.
Jones.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah,
I was thinking
no,
you were going
I
to give me
think
the
it's
tackle.
a good one too. Good question. I thought about that one.
Well,
Dick
who did
Vermeil. We're
who
going
did
rap.
Mike Jones tackle?
Dyson.
Dyson.
Right? Yeah, Dyson.
Don't know his
I mean,
Kevin
we-
Dyson?
I think it's Kevin Dyson. Yeah.
We know too much. Question number
Well, it's
9.
good, though.
Aaron
That's a good
Rodgers.
thing.
Look at us knowing stuff. Aaron Rodgers had a streak of 586 passing attempts at Lambeau without an interception, which spanned parts of 3 seasons. It was snapped in 2015 when the Packers beat the Rams 24-10. This was the linebacker that got the interception to break the streak. A 2009 second-round pick from Ohio State.
Oh,
whose
yes.
Dad used to wrestle.
The baby animal, James Laurinaitis.
That's correct. It was
Way
off a tip
too
ball,
many
too.
hints in that thing. Way too
Yeah.
many hints in that.
Yeah, I, for some reason, thought it'd be more obscure. I don't know why.
I was honestly, I thought it was Laurinaitis, and then once you said linebacker,
Yeah.
I was done. And then you gave me into the animal.
Maybe I
God,
should.
it was
Maybe
easy.
I should have just said what round. Maybe I shouldn't have said the position. That might have been tougher.
How many does he
Not
have?
trying
Ryan?
to. Not trying
How
to.
many does he have
I
right
still
Six
would
out
have
of
had it.
9. 6 out of 9.
Nice.
All right, number 10, despite his prolific
If you get
career,
this, I'll be impressed. Go ahead.
Kurt Warner is not in the top 5 in Rams history for total passing yards. Name 2 of the 5 who are.
So Mark Bolger is on
Correct.
that list.
That's correct. That's one.
That's
That's a good one.
There's more. Sam
You're in-
Bradford.
Bradford's not. Bradford is not.
Damn.
He was
So
up
hit-
there
are
for
you gonna hit the
touchdowns,
button?
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta hit the
incorrect.
button.
Sorry. Yeah, that's incorrect. Yeah.
He's sitting over there. He's laughing.
Yeah.
He's thinking of the people. He
Sitting
just
waiting.
wants to have a conversation with you about Jim Everett, about Roman Gabriel, about Jared Goff of all people,
Son of a-
and Norm Van
I
Brocklin.
thought you were going to say your boy, Jared Goff.
God. I knew it too. Golf was the next one, and I don't know why I tried to get cute with Sam Bradford.
I
But
wanted
Norm
someone to
Van
say
Brocklin.
That's
Norm
a good
Van
one.
Brocklin.
Norman.
That's a great
and
one.
Roman Gabriel was a great Rams quarterback way back in the day. Keep his name alive.
Could
By
have
the
told me
way,
that was
Bernie,
a safety.
Bernie in York, PA, on this talking text line has
6 out of 10.
goaded Jim Everett. Loves his content.
Ooh,
So
I
if you're
love
ever
that.
Looking for some good
Now, is
football
Jim
content,
Everett the one that Jim Rome
Yes.
tried to say was Chris Everett?
Yes. Say that one more time. You can turn your station.
Why
You
didn't
can
you
take
tell
a
me
station
again?
break.
Why don't you call me Chris again? All right, Chris. How was that? How was your game for us?
All right, 6 out of 10. We'll look up a winner. Congrats,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Tap In Golf Bar. Fantastic work. John, thank you for editing those questions. I can only imagine the minefield that you were reading through right there.
Billy.
just a little editorial creativity.
We
they
got to
were-
give
they-
a tip of the cap. Tip of the cap right there. Armin,
They were well-
fantastic work.
They were well written questions.
All right, we'll get a winner on the other side. It's 9 to noon on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. John Kuhn, right there, our two-time Super Bowl champion, just read some outlandish questions written by our guy Armin Sarian, who worked feverishly yesterday to bring up some. I didn't know that we were going to have 10 facts on the LA Rams. Instead, yeoman's work. Great work, Armin. Proud of you for
thank you very
being
much.
able to dig those up. Now you've been able to feverishly go on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line, find out all the sixes in there.
Yes.
And they are all sitting right now in your beautiful Brewer Golden Eagles hat. And let's pick one of those out for a winner of our Tap In Golf Bar 1 free hour of simulator
All
time.
right, grabbing one now. It is Mark in the 608.
Hi, baby Mark.
Mark in the 608. Congratulations. See,
Mark-
I want to do it fair. We had a lot of great contestants.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but I'm picking out of the hat. So text in with your info, Mark.
Text in your info, Mark, in the 608. Appreciate everybody playing free hour of simulator time coming his way to Tap In Golf Bar, Waukesha Inn in Sussex. Some of the best places to be able to swing away all season long, full swing technology, courses from around the world. Even the best part is, and my favorite part, you don't have to wait for the Bev card because it's never 4 holes away. You know where the Bev card is? Right over at the full service bar. That's my favorite part of Tap In Golf Bar. All right, 414-799-1973. In the midst of the fun we've been having in hour 2, playing What Does Billy Know, talking to Matt LePay, Todd and Sheboygan has been patiently waiting to talk some Brewers baseball. Todd, thank you very much for your patience. We apologize for the wait. What do you want to say about the Brewers here on day 3 of their playoff run in a decisive game 3 against the Mets?
No problem on the way, guys. I've just been listening to the show in the meantime. Tonight's game, I said the other night, where it was at Tuesday's game, it was disappointing. Watched last night from home. I just purchased tickets on StubHub to go tonight.
Let's go.
This is what we live for as fans. We waited 26 years for them to get back to the playoffs. If you'd asked in 1982 if it would have taken 26 years, nobody would have said it would have taken that long. So everybody needs to enjoy this, because going into Tuesday, there were 18 other teams and fan bases that would have loved to have been in the situation we're in tonight. And after last night, there's 3 other fan bases that would love to be in this situation. So instead of talking about how disappointed we might be, let's embrace it. Who knows what's going to happen? They might win, they might lose. Quintana's had some success against the Brewers, but you know what? They just beat them on Saturday night. And that's what this current team remembers. The bullpen, maybe they're overworked, maybe not. But you know what? Everybody's going to be ready tonight. And this is why we go through the emotional roller coaster that we do. And we just have to embrace it and love it for what it is, no matter what happens. And it's going to be an awesome experience. And I'm walking out of there with no regrets with whatever happens tonight.
Damn right,
Let's
Todd.
go.
Damn right, Todd. And hey, walk out of that construction zone that you're in here pretty soon, because it sounds like Todd is working. He is working during the day, and he said, "You know what, John? To hell with this. I still got 3 hours left. I'm going on StubHub, and I'm going to the game tonight, and I'm going to enjoy this." And I'm with Todd, because this has been an amazing run of Brewers baseball. We do the breakdowns of all the years and the drought, what have you. Right now feels like the opening of a new era and a new window of Brewers baseball. Enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets.
No. Yeah.
Certain people on this radio program, on this radio station, may already have tickets for next week. They just went on sale. Brewers just put the single game tickets for the NLDS on sale coming up. If you want to go to American Family Field and purchase them, those go on sale at noon. Pre-sale just started at 10 a.m. So start making some plans and get ready and start cheering on your Brew Crew coming up here tonight at 6:08 first pitch, and then head down to Potawatomi Sportsbook after the game, hang out with Tim and Pipe Bomb. They'll be at the Sportsbook and then sprinting to the Solstice Lounge to be able to burn a couple of heaters there in the middle there.
Absolutely.
I do. If anybody can give us a breakdown as to how quickly Tim and Pipe go from Potawatomi Sportsbook studio to the Smoker's Deck, back to the Sportsbook studio, if we can time that, that might be the most impressive stopwatch time of the day. I know Quentin Berry is stopwatching every single time the pitcher's making his move towards home plate. We need that clock in for Tim and Pipe being able to go to and from and bringing you some breakdown of hopefully a celebratory Brewers win here after game 3 tonight, 6:08 first pitch again at AmFam. All right, we're going to go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the other side here because we got to invest, baby. It's crazy that 2 hours are already in the books. Our best hour of the day is still to play. You Better You Bet, caller number 3, the contestant today. And You Better You Bet, caller 3, going to be our contestant on the other side for week 5 of the NFL. And a can't miss play comes up next on the game. Hour 3, 9 to noon is on your radio and on the iHeartRadio app, statewide on the game. We're going to be statewide tonight coming up at 3 o'clock. Drew and KB start the football feast in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I'll be
There
joining
another
at
bar.
5.
Another
Shocker.
bar.
Yeah.
Another bar.
Yep.
All right.
Let's go sports bar.
Chalk it up.
Is what they
9
like to
days
do.
in a row. Oh wait, there was a pro shop mixed in there. My bad.
Oh, yeah, the pro shop, John. You can't drink there, even though the bar is literally like 7 steps across from where I think
Hey,
they were there at the pro
They
shop.
got some nice stuff though. If you're going to the game tonight, they really got some nice playoff stuff. I went in there before game 1.
Did you snag anything?
I didn't. I really have enough stuff at this point. I didn't
Did you
really.
have the discount?
You know,
send me
how
a
this
pic-
goes,
Did you
Josh.
send me a picture
Of what?
Of anything that was nice.
of the
No,
nice stuff you
That-
just said they had?
No, that's for the clubhouse sale. I wasn't gonna like
You
walk
got
around.
the discount?
Oh, if you're walking with the discount. 'cause
First of
that's
all, I don't
discount.
ever assume.
If you're walking with the
I
discount,
don't ever assume.
Yeah,
that-
you're
he said
always
the
in a
discount.
spot. You're always in a
on.
spot to hook a coon up. You're walking with the discount.
Well,
Take a
certain-
picture of one of those really nice things they have and say, "Do you want a double XL?"
Well, I
And I'll
could've-
say yes.
Yes. hook me
Thanks,
up with
Norman.
that.
There's a
Come
lot
on.
of stuff.
Venmo you at the moment,
It
right
was-
now.
it was
How
just-
much?
It was just a lot of stuff. It was busy. I was anxious to get to my seat, and certain
Oh,
people.
that's what it was.
Certain
Got
people
it.
needed
Okay.
to make sure we had the discount. You know what I mean, and everything like that. So,
Didn't even get a sweatshirt.
You
with the
were
sweet
literally
postseason
walking
on it?
with
thank
the
goodness.
discount.
The discount was right there.
Thank goodness the postseason sweatshirts are nice this year. Just the logo. Just you saw Murph
I like it
last
clean.
night.
Yeah.
No dumb slogans like taking over this town that everyone has. What were the slogans in the past?
Well, I like the one that says "We own the Central" on the T-shirt.
That is good because it means you won something. I mean,
October ready, I think
October
is
ready.
the tagline.
and
right
when
now.
everybody's wearing it, it was
Not everybody.
It was
you
like-
know who isn't. You know who isn't wearing it?
Oh,
Me,
Cubs,
the
like
Baltimore Orioles.
Cubs. The Cubs.
John Kuhn's not wearing it because Armin Sarian didn't text him and say, "Hey, John, you October ready? You want to get a double XL of this bad boy?"
I thought my job was the clubhouse sale. All right, I didn't know I did every time I was there.
Well, the clubhouse
really a
sale is a
job.
big part of being
Yeah.
executive and technical producer on 9 to Noon. We know that and we understand that as
Yeah.
well within the job title. But I just thought, as a friend,
Ah,
not
that's it.
anything to do with your job title,
Yeah.
just as a friend, I could get a courtesy call, FaceTime, pick on a text.
you could have come to the
Yeah.
game. I'm not gonna sit
Like
there.
John would see a sweet
talked about
Marquette jersey. He
We
would say, "I
talked
should
about
send this to
All right,
Armin."
Don't go there. Call me Chris one more time. Call me Chris
Oh,
one more
you
time.
want to
See
hear
what
that?
happens.
Well, I was gonna play that. We never got a chance to relive that
Can
memory.
we, can we
Oh, that's
relive
right.
it?
Classic moment. One of the great early moments from a viral early TV,
Early Jim
Which-
Rome show.
which may or may not have been real, or not real. It was real, but it may or may not have been a work. as
That
Dave
was
says.
that was as much out of Vince McMahon's head, John, as I think anything that I've watched in the WWF. However, man, if you're Jim Everett, that would have had to feel good. Just like knowing, even if it was a work, this
You
guy
can work
knows
him a
that I
little
could give one pop to this jaw, and he's not doing a talk show for about a month and a half.
Yeah, Jim Rome is an interesting one too, because there's some of his stuff I really, really like.
No.
Knowing he's a Wisconsin guy.
Yeah, now that he likes it, yeah,
Loves up
yep.
north. Yeah.
But I don't know. He starts calling me the name I'm not appreciating.
Mark Kuhn. How are you?
Mark.
At one point you were John Kuhn, but then after like 2012, you really became Mark Kuhn.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I'd get all that. Actually, I probably would, because it would be him saying it. Because
Yeah.
Cower used to call me Jeff Kuhn, and he called me Jeff Kuhn pretty much my entire time. It didn't seem to bother me. It didn't really bother me. I wasn't really affected.
You're
I
like,
was just
"That's
happy to be
close
there.
enough."
I was just happy to be there. But yeah, I mean, if Jim Rome is calling me something, yeah, it might change.
Well, the
Yeah,
whole
that
thing
would have
is
to
like,
change.
Chris could be a woman's name. That was the joke there. I mean, it's not just the
Oh,
wrong
okay.
name. I thought that was the joke always. Wasn't that it? I always thought that was the joke. Like,
I just thought it was an insulting. Dude, no one even knows who you are.
no, because
Chris
Chris Everett was a great tennis player.
Yeah, but Chris is a unisex name.
Right.
That is a good background then. I did not
You
think
got
about
Chris,
that part of
you
it.
got
Yeah.
Terry, you got what else?
Leslie, Tracy, in theory, those are
I think pretty
Kim.
much anybody's doing that.
I
now.
mean, Pat, all those. type of-
Daniil.
could be.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Well, these days there are a lot of names that people are naming their babies that it can go both ways. That I've seen, for as a girl's name or a boy's name.
You
You
look
know?
through one of them baby books.
Morgan or a lot of these
Every
names.
name is a boy or a girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Like,
there's a
there's
big
a reason
purple
there's
section. There's a
18,000.
big
Like-
purple section in books now.
Yeah.
Big purple section.
Yeah. Let's move away from that one. All right, let's get out. Let's get out of the purple
All right,
section.
we're-
Let's get out of
we're
the
talking
name game.
sport. Yeah, we're
What, are
talking
you having
sport.
another
Yeah.
baby? Are you guys naming a baby already?
I didn't say that, so I don't think that's what that'd be a little early. Wait, come on.
I don't know. It was your
Leonard Jo-
anniversary last night, and I just,
Thank
John.
you,
I
it
mean,
was.
we already know what.
Bow,
Come
Yeah,
on
but
now.
you know,
Big win,
you get home
big
from
anniversary.
you get
Oh
home from
yeah. Okay. So
anniversary dinner. You get
Big
home.
blue chew time.
Listen, where did you go for dinner? First of all,
We went to Sanford. You ever been to Sanford, Milwaukee? It's a kind of a nice little fancy
Oh,
restaurant where they give
okay,
you
look at
courses.
you.
Billy,
I
do you know about Sanford?
We had
No,
never.
I know Sanford.
we
and
are
Sons.
unfamiliar with Sanford's game. What's it do?
Yeah,
Well, I'd never been there before, but we had a gift card, so we used it, and it was.
you didn't have to drop that
kinda cool.
preface in there.
What was it?
Well,
What,
I don't
so
spend that kind of money.
What they have?
It's one of these like course meals. You prefix the course, John, and they
Okay.
do different like courses, and they have like little artistic plates. They see on fancy shows.
Mm.
like the
Michelin
big-
place.
It's except it's not a Michelin,
this.
but they deserve one. It's that good in my
Oh,
opinion.
okay. It's a 1-star Michelin.
Yeah, Justin Abrahamian, the Armenian
Close
chef,
it
is
up.
really good.
Oh,
that makes
it's
sense
in the
now.
family
Well,
now.
actually,
Now
I
we're
don't know.
talking.
I don't
Now
know.
we're
Now we
talking.
get
Okay,
it.
now we get
It's
it.
really-
Okay.
it's really,
You walk in there, it's a bunch of grabbing cheeks and kisses on
No,
the
I
forehead.
didn't meet him.
Still
Actually,
does.
I
Makes
wanted
sense.
I wanted to meet him, but I know
You wanted to shake his hand.
I know he's busy back there because he's creating a
You
little.
gotta
you know,
keep it in
well,
the family, Armin.
That's
This is-
I
fantastic.
can hear-
This is a
Leon
coos
right now.
This is a coos.
Your anniversary, 3 years. You go down there. You go to Tony's place on
You
the
go to
corner.
Sanford. They take care of you. All right, they take care
All
of you.
right.
It's in the family. You're
It's
gonna know
in the
everything you want to
family.
have.
For the first course,
That's what
we
you
have
got to do.
pickled shallots in like a little
Oh,
design,
wow.
and on top of a couscous.
What's a
Names
shallot?
do it fancy.
Some
Yeah,
sort of
wow.
I don't know, some sort of vegetable. I think
Fancy.
Oh, okay.
it was kind of cool. I never. It was a unique experience for me.
You going back?
Man, one day I would like to. I'm sure. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
good.
That sounds like once he gets another gift card. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Well,
So unfortunately, I'm assuming a 1-star Michelin place like Sanford's, no televisions to watch the Brewers. What are you doing?
There was no
What are you
television.
doing?
So I didn't know, would it be in bad taste if I just kind of propped that phone up right there on the
Incredibly
table?
awful taste to Laura. So disrespectful to her. She won't care. She won't mind. So you did it, I'm sure, but incredibly disrespectful.
Well, I tried to find a happy medium. I didn't put the game on the phone.
Oh,
I put the game
Put
cast.
the game on
So
for
I just-
crying out loud.
I just updated the occurrences, on the game cast. I
you
didn't
were
actually.
sitting there looking at the MLB game
Oh,
day
I'm
like you're
trying
in
to be-
If
college.
you'd have gone incognito and just had an earbud in and listened to it, that would have been sweet.
Well, I'm
The
trying
guy
to-
probably went incognito mode because he
That's
didn't
what
want Lara to find out he was on the MLB game day.
Trying to be present in the moment, having
She
the
would have
dinner.
been fine.
Probably, but still, I got home by the fifth
No,
inning.
I'm going to go Brian Butch on this style. You needed to assert your dominance there.
Well, Zabe
and throw,
said too.
throw the game on the phone, prop it up in the corner of the table, and say, honey,
No,
I appreciate it.
Zabe
I'm,
said
not
I
doing,
should-
I'm not doing it either, Armin.
need to
I'm
see
not
this.
doing it either. All
Hey,
these,
you
all
two are
these,
too
all these,
romantic.
all these big tough guys telling
Thank you,
how to
John.
assert your dominance.
Yeah.
Nope, not on an anniversary. There's
No.
a couple days a year.
I don't want that
couple
smoke.
days a year, I gotta be that guy.
Yeah.
There's a couple days a year, I gotta be the guy my wife wants me to be. Then there's 360 days I
The
can
guy
be a
she
guy's
tells
guy.
her friends
Right? It's about 5 days.
Well,
She gets 5 days. That's one of them. I'm sorry. It's one of them.
Zabe's like, why'd you plan this on the day of the Brewers game? I'm like, this anniversary was pre-planned.
Didn't plan 3 years ago, and you guys picked the day for your wedding. Be like, now the only issue is the Brewers are going to be in a massive playoff game at one point. I'm going to have to be
Well,
watching.
I was apparently the jinx in game one.
I told
So
you that's
having
why
a
you
reason not to
always
go.
do it between Memorial Day and Labor Day. I told you
Yes,
this when
thank
you
you.
scheduled your wedding, Armin.
Yeah,
It needs to be between Memorial Day and Labor Day and not on those 2 days.
I know. In fact, we were thinking about a September one, but the venue and this is going way back during
I don't know
COVID.
why
and-
you're thinking about fall weddings. They should be illegal.
It's not me.
It
It's
is
not-
football season.
It's everyone wants a fall wedding. The leaves and it's cute and the leaves not too hot. Right? Am I wrong, John? It is what it is.
No, give it to me hot. I want to see the bride sweating her face off. I want
Yes.
every one of the
Thank you.
groomsmen ripping their jackets off the
95
minute they can at
degrees.
the reception,
Oh, man.
taking the ties, unbuttoning it down a couple buttons. You get the one guy who's got the wife beater on underneath. He takes his shirt the whole way off. You got to
Uh-huh.
walk up and ask him to put his button up back on because it's in bad taste.
And
And
when
they're
he
pissing the
Tie
bride's
around the
parents
head
off.
as it's a
Grandma's mad.
headband being able to soak up the sweat before it starts dripping
We're
down.
supposed to still do pictures, so you need to put your jacket back on. Stuff like that. It was a nice place. I'd never been to. It was a very unique type of thing, but. Next year we're going to Carnivore. That's
What was-
why I told
Yeah,
him.
you should've went
there
Next
you
year we're
go.
going to
Should've went to
Carnivore.
Carnivore. That was the issue.
Sanford, good. Carnivore.
it's
It's our spot. That's
Because
just
I
our
want a
place.
steak. Like Sanford was more of an artistic dining experience with
Mhm.
different unique stuff.
Is there
but
a
I
special
wanted a
handshake
steak.
you got to do to walk in this place? What's the deal? Like,
No, I
what
don't
is
think
it?
so. I don't think so. Oh, I was the man too.
You
Yeah,
don't
I gotta.
get
Leon's
nearly
got to
the
make a
kind of
call. I need
situation.
Leon to
Yes.
make a call for me.
That's what you need.
What you're
John.
saying is the next time I
Yep.
come to Milwaukee, I got to take Leon to Potawatomi Casino
Yes,
Hotel
you need to do that.
Sportsbook,
Get him a
get him a
dog.
coon dog,
Yes, indeed.
so that he can put me on a list for Sanford and Sons.
Hey, how about your boy
That's what I'm
getting
talking about.
valet though? I did the valet last night. Yeah, I know. I felt like a big shot,
Look at
man.
you, big though.
Yeah, I'm not parking this thing. I'm doing valet, and it was authorized.
I also
You know?
just held off a very, very inappropriate joke that
Oh.
I will say is maturing at this particular point in my,
That
in my
is
adult
that
life.
is metric. Real quick, Armin.
Yeah, go ahead.
TJ in Texas does want to know any picture requests last night.
Well,
Were you
at
able
the
to make it?
restaurant?
That's a good question.
No paparazzi for you.
No, they didn't know I was there.
Once you were
You
parking your car,
survived.
No, I
You
didn't.
survived the night.
I thought they would have just been waiting for you at the valet stand.
Billy, you
No.
missed this yesterday. He said the pictures at AmFam on Tuesday. It was a lot.
Oh
It
my
was good.
god!
I loved it. I loved it.
Too many pictures with too many just adoring fans
just-
of the adorable
Let's
Armenian.
do between innings was my only thing I wanted. I want to make sure we're watching the game.
I
But
saw you were cropped out of a certain amount of
I
videos and
was.
pictures
I thought
too.
that was interesting. I was. That was funny.
Oh,
I didn't
listen,
mind.
people are listening to your guidelines. I'm not taking any pictures or doing any videos with you. So quit asking. I'm going to the Potawatomi Sportsbook, or like you should have been doing, going to Carnivore,
Indeed.
Milwaukee's premier steakhouse. That's what you got to do. That's where you want to go. And you better, you bet. Let's hit it.
You
Bet.
better.
You better. You better. You bet.
You
better. You better. You better. You bet. Bet your life.
You better bet that one of the best meals in your entire life is going to be at Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse for over 15 years. The finest cuts of international and domestic steak in the city of Milwaukee. And John, that wine cellar, those wine and spirits lists, that's something that you're going to have to experience to be able to fully believe, I think, over at Carnivore. No
Yeah,
one fully understands.
Over 3,000 different wines that they have. Some spectacular Silver Oaks and Caymuses. But Omar's got his own vintage wine for Carnivore. It's pretty cool. You got to check it out.
You got to check it out. And you got to beat the guys to eat with the guys at Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse for over 15 years. That's what Mike in West Dallas is attempting to do here on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Now, Mike is an expert investor. I can already feel that this man knows what he's doing when he walks up to the wagering window. So, Mike, what is your first winner for Week 5 in the NFL?
All right, my first pick is, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm going to go with a bounce-back game with Josh Kelly and the Buffalo Bills.
All right, taking
All
the
right.
Buffalo Bills. -1, Bills on the road against the Houston Texans. John, Bills are starting to sneak into that potential Devontae Adams sweepstakes. They might have to win one more game before they get reinforcements there, but you and I are both in on the Josh Allen MVP season. I like this pick as they roll down to Houston trying to bounce back.
Yeah, bounce back in a big way because they got bounced in
Yeah.
Baltimore. But a lot of people can get bounced going to Baltimore playing the night game against the black units with Derrick Henry at the helm. We'll give that one as a mulligan for the Bills. Now they get back on track. Texans, two teams, 3-1, both looking to make big moves and big noise this year and overtake the Chiefs as the best in the AFC. I think this is going to be a really great game. And did you notice he said Josh Kelly? Is that Jim
Oh.
Kelly, Josh Allen kind of hybrid?
Oh, I
quarterback
like
going
that.
on? Maybe that's a big season for the Bills. Maybe
said-
they are on their way, destiny for the Super Bowl.
You think
Interesting stuff here. Devontae Adams. This is interesting stuff. I was talking with some people around the league just yesterday about it.
Ooh.
And it is believed around the league that Devontae Adams, because there are many teams, many more teams than what we even know. Bills,
Okay.
Steelers,
Yep.
Raven. There are several teams in this thing that you might not even expect. Saints.
Oh,
Jets.
Saints make a lot of sense, right? Jets
But
got
the
to be
Jets
there.
are the ones that everybody outside the Jets believe Devontae is trying to engineer the trade for. Be interesting, because if I'm one of these other teams, I'm saying, what are the Jets giving you? I'll give you more.
Yeah, I'll give you more. If I'm the New Orleans Saints, I'm very interested in that move. I'll pair Derek Carr and Devontae Adams up again one more time. All right, Mike, what's your second pick?
Second pick, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears.
Mike,
Interesting.
I said a good invest. Did I not say an expert investor?
Thought you did.
And he's
Thought
taking the
you
Bears,
did.
laying 3.5. I guess it makes sense, John. They are hosting the Carolina Panthers.
Yep, they got the Panthers, the Red Rockets coming to town. How will he fare against this Bears defense? The Bears defense has been living up to expectations this year, and Caleb Williams has been productive the last 2 weeks, at least in the yardage category. And, you know, when you watch Jaden Daniels and what they have done for him down in Washington, if Chicago can ever figure out how to really orchestrate an offense for Caleb Williams and make it easier for him, I think this kid's going to take off. What time did you said it wasn't good for the Packers to play the Bears at the end of the year because Caleb Williams will no longer be that fresh faced rookie.
Mm-hmm.
At what point in time do you expect to start going shoop?
Now he did tell his coach, John, you need to start coaching us harder. Apparently some of the veterans sat down with Shane Waldron and said, you need to be more aggressive in coaching us. So I think right around week 8 or 9, you would assume there would be a takeoff. But I'm starting to wonder if those wings are going to be clipped there in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't like the points on this one.
I'm not a big fan either. I like the hook there with 3.5. But Mike is on the other side. That's his second pick in You Better You Bet. That's why he's trying to beat the guys at Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse. Mike, what's your third pick?
Third pick, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. I think they have better playmakers, even though either of these teams don't have a quarterback really.
Oh, that is fair. Now the Miami Dolphins do have Tyreek Hill. They are getting a point, and they are going on the road to the New England Patriots. They're going to start Tyler Huntley again here, John, for his second week in a row.
Mike McDaniel's teams with Tua and without Tua. Look up those records. That'll tell you everything you need to know about your time investing on the Miami Dolphins without Tua. He's not coming back till week 8 because that's what IR says he has to do. I'm staying away from everything Miami until then.
Yeah, and I do think Tua's coming back in week 8. Like, I know a lot of people are still wondering if he's coming back. I think he's playing again.
You can't throw him out there. You got to protect him from himself. Listen, if he says he wants to play and we're paying him this much money, damn it, I'm paying him because we can't win with anybody else.
No. And John, I appreciate everybody looking out for players' safety and players' health. We're not his father. All right. So I think everybody can stop playing as like, if this was my son, we'd go out there. If this is my son, he's not. He's a grown man. So he is going to make his own decision.
That's a good point.
At mid-20s, telling a professional athlete at the peak of your power, somebody's going to be willing to pay you $40+ million a year to do what your identity has been. Difficult for people to be putting themselves in their shoes. I think we can stop telling him what he should and should not be doing with his career. All right, Mike, what's your next pick here?
Next pick is going to be the Saints. I think it's going to be a close game. They might not win, but I think they're going to cover.
Catching 5.5 at Arrowhead, John. That's a very appetizing number for the New Orleans Saints as they play on Monday Night Football against Kansas City.
5.5. We got that number
That's
again.
that number.
5.5. Please. I hope this line's there tomorrow. I love 5.5. I think Kansas City Chiefs been playing with house money so far this year. 4-0. Haven't been impressive yet. So I ask you, is this one of those teams that will continue to win ugly, or is this one of those teams that the slipper is going to fall off? They have Patrick Mahomes. They have that defense. Makes you feel like it's one of those teams that's going to continue to win ugly. But 5.5 points is 5.5 points in this year's NFL.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Boy, I hope the line stays there for tomorrow.
And it's plus 205 on the money line if you like those little plus 5.5 things of underdogs winning straight up. All right, let's go with your last pick, Mike. What is your lock? What is this final winner?
My last one is this one's for Billy. It's my Morgan Oaks lock of the week.
That's
The
what I'm
Green
talking
Bay Packers.
Let's go. All right, Mike, you're a smart man over there in Morgan Oaks. That is a mortal lock of a Morgan Oaks lock. -3 on the road at the LA Rams. John, I think this one stays at 3. I think this is the best you're going to get on the line if you are investing on the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and I love the line of 3. I absolutely love it for this Green Bay Packer team, barring one thing, that rust is not still on the arm or the decision-making.
Yeah, we got to have that conversation.
Of Jordan Love. If that rust is off, I love this. Rams without Puka, Rams without Cooper, Packers seem to be fully loaded, minus, maybe Jair, minus maybe Devontae Wyatt. But on offense, I don't know how the Rams are going to score with the Packers in this thing, as long as Jordan Love has eliminated some of that rust we saw last week.
Yeah, and we got to talk about that rust. Mike, fantastic work here today in You Better You Bet. Find out next week if you are a winner and you're into the playoffs. Mike in West Dallas, fantastic work on You Better You Bet.
All right, let's go Brewers and let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Mike in West Dallas, come on now.
Let's get nuts. I love it. Yeah,
I love that stuff.
Go.
Come on, let's go Brewers. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, shall we?
Get nuts. It's been nuts down at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook. If you haven't been there since the doors have opened, what are you waiting for? Biggest sportsbook outside of Vegas. It's bigger than most sportsbook inside Vegas. And the footprint really relays that. You got to go down there and check it out. 2,000 square foot LED screen, seating for over 200 and standing room for another 200 more. And the best part, the Polish Pipe Bomb and Tim Allen will be down there to do the post game tonight.
Yes.
So make your way down there, say what's up to Pipe Bomb, burn a grit with him in the parking lot, and buy yourself a coon dog, because it's the best way to enjoy a post game Brewers victory. And going nuts. It's been going nuts down at the Sportsbook and Casino. And I'll tell you why, Armin. Because we're only halfway through this week, and we are already 8-week winning.
Yeah,
8
already
weeks
won
in a
a
row.
week. Already 1 week. 3-0 this week. Already your 8th winning week in a row. So you can kick your feet up today, John, and gamble.
I could kick my feet up and gamble. And then I thought to myself, well, that's not a can't miss. Like, I wanted to really come in here and throw a parlay together.
Okay.
But I'm like, no, but that takes away from the can't miss. I got people that are calling the show after we go off the air saying, well, what was Coons can't miss? Because I might need to fade that, or I might need to jump on that. I need to follow what his can't misses are, because right now I'm on a heater. 8 straight winning weeks, 4 picks consecutively in a row. And then how about this one? Players to have the most passing yards in tonight's game. Kirk Cousins or Baker Mayfield. All the contemporary thinking says Baker Mayfield. All the contemporary thinking says Baker Mayfield. I think no. This line is at 1 for a reason. This line, or no, now it's all the way up to 2.5. Okay, well, it started at 1. This line started at 1, and I think the line started at 1 because they know something. They know this is Kirk Cousins' breakout game this season for the Atlanta Falcons, and I think it is too. Kirk Cousins plus 106 just to have more passing yards than Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
That's awesome. I like that. And also, I think Tampa is a good team of starting fast, forcing Atlanta to throw it. At some point here, John, too, they're going to pop one of these really long screen passes to Bijan Robinson, right? Like at some point, they're going to get him really working in the screen game, I would assume.
Yeah, the only thing going against me in this is Tampa's run game. I mean, their running backs are a little beat up right now, so their run game's struggling. They've really got to pass the ball, and they passed it really well last week against Philadelphia. So there is a little bit of concern there because they do have weapons on the outside, but so does Kirk Cousins. And we're waiting for Kirk Cousins to do what Kirk Cousins does is, look, he can throw the ball. And he can win games, and he can get 4 touchdowns, right? This is a regular season Thursday night game. This is about the time Kirk Cousins does something cool.
I'm excited for this game tonight. I think it's going to be a slept-on affair. Now, granted, probably going to have a lot of people in this area tapping in right around halftime, right after the Brewers get a massive win and knock out the Mets after they watch the celebration. But I think both of these two teams, this is one where Tampa, nobody gave credit for that they could win the NFC South again, and everyone kind of just gave it to Atlanta. They're gonna have to earn it. They win here tonight, very much could be the Falcons division again. But Tampa's a team that you got to knock out, man. You got to beat that squad.
This South could be a big old battle, though, between those 3 teams, between the Buccaneers, the Falcons, and the Saints. Could be a big old battle. It was a battle last week, and Atlanta's coup ended up winning the game, hitting the game winner from 58. I expect a battle here tonight as well.
Also, Younghoe Koo is the only kicker in football, I think, that the fans actually chant his name. He runs out onto the field. They all go, Koo.
Sort of like you, John.
And all my man
Without the
does
end.
is drill 55-yard game winners. That guy's awesome. That's a
awesome.
difficult one to
He
hit.
is awesome. He's got a weird alignment, but he is awesome.
He does have a strange setup. Look
Yeah.
at straight on. Look like Don Chandler is about to
Yes.
boot that thing
It
through.
worked for him though. Hey, I can't question it. You know, these
Listen,
days I would
Dempsey.
take anything for
He's
it.
With
doing
half a foot.
Yes, he's the little Dempsey style. I would trade for Younghoe Koo. I don't know that we can do that here with the Green Bay
I mean, I
Packers.
would
We
take
could.
it,
We would do
yeah.
that. We would take that.
All right, the
414-799-1973, Armin.
Just to repeat, the can't
Yes.
miss is Kirk Cousins to have the most passing yards tonight at plus 106. Little plus money for you there. All right.
And what would you do to juice that number up?
Well, what I would do is I would just throw on a Bryce Turang no home run. Sorry, Bryce, and a minus. No, not that I don't want it
Go
to
to break,
happen.
Molly. Go to break.
We're
No.
going to break.
Okay.
We're going to break before he cooks up a parlay and throws the Bucks to win the championship. Next, it's Coon, Billy, and Armin. Stay wide on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Appreciate you hanging out with us statewide each and every day. Also on YouTube and X, streaming the radio show. You get to see what Armin Sarian looks like on a day in and day out basis. Get to see this man absolutely losing his mind. Also get to see everyone rocking some Brewer stuff. And John, enjoying. Now you mentioned it during the last segment, and I don't. We talked so much Brewers today, rightfully so. Massive game coming up here tonight. Decisive game 3 in the playoffs. But Packers and Rams coming up, 3:25 kick on Sunday. And just looking at the injury report, this is the healthiest reportedly yesterday that Jordan Love has felt since the opener, since the game against the Eagles where he sprains the MCL. Talked about that he was as close to a full go as he could be in practice, continues to take more and more of the work. But now we wonder, and we're going to get into this fully tomorrow, because I think Nooners maybe have let themselves think about it, maybe have not. Maybe just last week, the comeback in and of itself was so beautiful to see. Hopefully the rust, as you said, can get knocked off Jordan Love here soon, because they're going to need to be able to put this thing in the W column if you start stacking up games and being a really, really good football team.
Yeah, I'm, doing my prep for this week's game. I'm really optimistic about bouncing back, right? So many guys had rusty games or not sharp games against Minnesota, and yet they put it together enough to battle back from that. And believe me, a lot of people thought there was some sort of prevent defense being ramped. No, Minnesota did not do that. Yeah, Minnesota ran their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota was pissed when the Packers scored that last touchdown to force an onside kick. I mean, this was not by accident. This was not garbage time. This was a completely legit comeback. But the Packers did put themselves in a hole. And I don't anticipate all the drops. I don't anticipate all the penalties. I think those things are going to get cured and fixed up, because you have those from time to time throughout the season.
Yep.
And then you get a reminder from your coach, we can't play like this. We're not good enough. Not many teams are good enough to stub their toe 8 times in a game. Jordan Love with some interceptions, Alt Tucker Kraft with the fumble. There was all kinds of things that went on out there. And I think Jordan Love is the big one going to LA. I think it's the one where he was good, not great against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Forced the ball, turned into an interception, missed a couple throws, but he was good, not great. He was more good than he was bad. This last game, there was probably equal bad as there was exceptional. And that's why and I'm not gonna put it on him like he is underachieving, because that was his first game back with a hiatus with an injured knee somewhat. I think Jordan Love needs a bounce back game. I hope that he has it this week, because if we continue to see rust, if it continues in this next game, then we're going to have the conversation of, okay, last season when you got hot the last 8 games, what were you doing then? Is this the Jordan Love that many people kind of targeted during the draft as the most turnovers coming out his senior year?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the Jordan Love that we're going to get now? Were those 8 games last year, were those just a hot streak? Or is that what you do when you're locked in? Because we need them locked in.
Yeah, John, and I'll do you one further. Just look at it as not last 9 quarters of football, if you include the fourth quarter in San Francisco. That's 6 picks in 9 quarters, right? Like, so if indeed that he is going to risk it a little bit more for the biscuit. Now, we didn't see that a whole lot in that hot stretch of 18 touchdowns, 1 pick to lead the Packers into the playoffs and getting the win in Dallas. But there is a little bit more gunslinger. You see the Brett Favre jersey walking into Lambeau this weekend. Some people thought, wow, that was kind of foreshadowing as to how he was going to play. You do wonder if maybe a little bit more, less of the throws into some more tight windows, and feeling like if I take the step back on the aggressiveness, allow my defense to play the way that they have so far this year, tied for the league lead with 8 picks, maybe that's going to be more of our recipe to win in some games.
Let's think about when Jordan Love started to make the transition. It was a game against Pittsburgh, and I can remember it vividly. I came in after that game and I told you guys, look at the way he's checking the ball down.
Yeah.
Look at the way he's getting it out of his hands. Look at the way he's not holding it anymore. He's not double clutching it. He's not throwing into a crowd. I think I don't want him to be check down Charlie here. I don't want that to happen,
right?
Because when Jordan Love was at his best was when he was in Dallas and he was getting the ball out of his hands, and it was, this receiver's winning on the inside, so he puts the ball high and inside, and the
Taking
receiver gets
deeper
it for a
shots.
touchdown.
Yeah.
And he can do that. He can do that, but he also can have that. He just doesn't need to force those big plays to happen. They will come. They will come because your receivers are good and you're good. They will come. We don't need to force them. To throw to Christian Watson, not good. To throw to Dontavian Wicks in the end zone, not good. Not good. Now, they had 7 up. They brought it from the other side. The line did not slide. To me, I would have protected it differently. I would have called a different protection adjustment. But even with that, Dontavian Wicks is running down the inside of the numbers. You throw it to the inside of the numbers because he's going there. Dontavian breaks to the outside because that's what a fade's supposed to do. And by the time Dontavian Wicks looks up, he has no chance. The ball's inside. He can't get there. You just throw that one away. Throw that one away or throw it to a back. Don't like that. You don't need to force him. And I think when he gets that, and he's going to get it back, it'll be much similar to what we saw last year. It'll feel a little check down Charlie at first, and then the big plays will start coming on the back end.
But he has had some. I mean, he's had 6 touchdowns in 2 games. I mean, he's averaging 3 touchdowns a game that he's played in. I mean, that's pretty good. So I think he's
completion percentage needs to get up there, though.
Right. But the part of his game is still there. And I expect, and John and I talked about this a little bit when you were out, Billy, if he played these last, those 2 games he was out, I expect his touchdowns to be amongst the league leaders. I mean, right now it's Darnold 11.
All right, here,
Russ is
Armin.
8.
I'm glad you said that. 6 touchdowns the last 2 games. I'm glad you said that. But they played the Eagles and they played the Vikings.
Oh, yes.
They can beat the Rams if he throws 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. They can do that.
Yes.
But my point is, can they beat a good team? Now, they got a stretch here of very winnable games in a row. I think there's a Houston Texan game mixed in with a bunch of very winnable games. So they can go on a run right now. So he doesn't need – but when they play the Houston Texans, you're not going to want these turnovers. You're not going to want the low passes. Yeah. I mean, to win against good teams, you can't turn the ball over like that. You can't force it. And I mean it. He's been rusty. But is that rusty, or is that a little bit of his character? Is that a little bit of his nature? We know what he did his last year at Utah State.
And I wonder if Packer fans will allow themselves to get just a little bit nervous about it. And we'll talk more about it tomorrow. We're going to get the full feeling of Packers fans going into it coming up tomorrow. But you do wonder, and John, you allude to it, the amount of winnable games that they have in front of them. At the Rams, who are beat up beyond all get out, missing their starting left tackle and their starting 2 wide receivers. Home against the 1-win Arizona Cardinals. That home game, it's the winter warning, though. Sorry. Whiteout. Texans, that's going to be an L. I mean, I'm going to tell you that right now. We're debuting the all-white helmets.
For the Texans.
The Texans are going to lose by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, for the Texans.
The Texans come up here, lose, go down to Jacksonville, beat them. That sets up for right before the bye against the Lions. You got a couple of massive games, but some really, really winnable ones for the Packers. You got to be able to feast on this part of the schedule and get right. Get yourself feeling a lot better. All right, 414-799-1973. We got our quick trip takeaways of the day. Our final takeaways before we hand it off to the Mike Heller Show. And big game Heller. How about that? Playoffs come around and Mike Heller makes it to the ballpark and he's in the studio and he'll talk to us coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. It's Kuhn, Billy, and Armin. It's 9 to noon on the Game. All right, Brewers and Mets tonight, 6:08 first pitch. Football feast tonight in Stevens Point. Somebody is going to Packers and Cardinals. Like, it's as simple as that. Stevens Point, what up? We're going to be at the Buffalo Wild Wings. It's going to turn into somewhat second best place I've heard to watch, third best place to watch Brewers and Mets tonight, outside of American Family Field
And
Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Yep.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Stevens Point.
the number
Like,
4.
in that power rankings, number 4, wherever the TV is.
The Iron Jack Studios.
But did you hear what he said? He goes, the best place, the third best place to watch.
I had to go
of
down the
course.
power rankings here, John. Because listen, that's what power rankings are, right? They're just for guys like us on sports radio to be able to fire off some takes onto them.
Sports
My power
radio
rankings
stuff.
as the way you watch this game, it's going to be hard to beat Potawatomi Sportsbook. We already know being there is going to be number 1, but having a chance to go to Packers and Cardinals, that's pretty damn good.
The last thing I want to say about this is, you guys know I like to watch sports a lot of times in my living room with the sound very low.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Barely
Yep.
being it. Some of that's because family's around. Some of that's because family's sleeping. So this pitching with the pitch clock, you can't watch like that.
No.
You got to turn the sound up so that you can hear it better, because you will miss stuff. This
Yeah.
is not what we grew up with type baseball. I'm not used to playoff baseball rolling this fast. It's crazy. I mean,
Used to be a
regular
lot of time
season
between
regular
pitches.
season baseball is one thing, because regular season baseball, you're kind of tuned in like 80% at all
Yep.
times, right? And then playoff baseball, you want to see every little thing. So you're trying to be tuned in at 100%, but it takes effort to watch this.
Well, you might miss the in-game interview.
I was just going to say,
in the
yeah,
middle of an inning.
ESPN maybe still hasn't figured it out too, because they're like, wait, playoff baseball, we still have time to have Jesse Rogers interview Garrett Mitchell in the middle of an at-bat
Dumbest
with
thing
1
ever.
out in the 9th
It's the
inning.
9th inning.
Dumbest thing. This isn't one of 162 for us. This is
This is an
one of
all-star game.
2,
Yeah.
potentially 3. I love that he just hit the home run. Can you wait until the last out before you shove the
Oh,
microphone in his face?
and-
No, we got to get it when out 26 is up.
Oh my
Come
God.
on,
You,
man.
you missed the at-bat.
And with the remarkably dynamic Jesse Rogers on the microphone. I mean, like, so Garrett, as you're in there, and hold on, dude. Then let's Scott Van Pelt figure it out. Let's give him a working microphone to actually get a good interview here
I don't think
with
they can hear
Garrett
me.
right at the end. Here.
Sophia, they can't hear me. Garrett's trying to plug in
Garrett, I got
XLRs.
an idea as to why they can't hear you, because Willie Adames dumped the Gatorade on him with the headset and everything on
Yeah, but at least he's
right before that.
How about Garrett Mitchell hits the winning homer? He's trying to fix the mic. You know, he does everything. You know
Team
what I mean?
player. Yeah, team player. Guy knows what he's doing. All right, fellas, I got a good feeling here tonight.
Let's
John,
do
you know
it.
what my good feeling is? Somebody is going to do what Armin Sarian didn't do on Tuesday night. They're going to go to the third base bar.
Yeah.
They're going to ask for
Jack or Jake?
I think it's Jake.
I
Did I
can't.
say Jack the other day?
I can't remember.
I think it's Jake. I think it's Jake.
I think it asked
Just
for
yell
Jake,
for Coons guy.
friend. Actually, I'm going to tell you exactly where to go. As
Yes.
you're looking at the bar and the field's in the background, it's the furthest cash register to the left.
To the left.
Just go to
Oh,
that one.
Okay.
Go to that one. Get a Long Island.
Tell him Coon sent you.
Send
just like Gina Della.
That's exactly it. Get the Long Island. Tell them Coon sent you, and then we win. Like, that's as easy as it is. And then tomorrow on a Green and Gold Friday, we get to celebrate a Brewers series win and get ready for Packers and Rams and get ready for the Badgers to absolutely beat the brakes off the Boilermakers. It is set up to be a fantastic Friday. Let's get after it. Everybody going to American Family Field tonight. Be loud, be excited, and bring home a victory. For John Kuhn, I'm Billy Schmidt. Armin Sarian's right there. It's been 9 to noon. We'll hand it off to Big Game Mike Heller right after this. You got the game.